Between you people, don't talk to me that way. You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way. Go ahead, take the. Well, I'll give you voters. I will give you voter suppression. You just have to sit down, please. Sit down. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. Okay, question? Yeah, go ahead. Sure. She's shocked that I picked her.
No.
It's like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. How many cases were in the United States when I did my ban? How many people had died in the United States?
So do you acknowledge that you didn't think
Keep your voice down, please. Keep your voice down.
Do you want him to rein in Robert Mueller?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
You didn't let me ask my question.
You've been asking a question for 10 minutes, so please sit down.
The argument is that you bought yourself some time. You didn't use it to prepare hospitals. You didn't use it to ramp up testing. Right now,
You're so disgraceful.
Unemployed.
It's so disgraceful the way you say that. Look. You know you're a fake. You know that your whole network, the way you cover it, is fake. And most of you, and not all of you, but the people are wise to you. That's why you have a lower approval rating than you've ever had before, times probably 3.
What do you say the Americans were scared, though? I guess nearly 200 dead, 14,000 who are sick, millions, as you witnessed, who are scared right now. What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say. Go ahead.
You've said repeatedly that you think that some of the equipment that governors are requesting, they don't actually need. You said New York might not need 30,000. You said it on Sean Hannity's Fox News. You said,
why don't you people act? Let me ask you.
You said
why don't you act in a little more positive? It's always trying to
get you.
And you know what? That's why nobody trusts the media anymore.
My question to you is, how is that going to impact?
You didn't hear me. That's why you used to work for the Times and now you work for somebody else. Look, let me tell you something. Be nice.
Be nice, everybody. Be nice. Oh, it's just less than 60 days away. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I'm your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Lawgic. Hope your day is going well. We had an exciting development today where candidate Kamala came out of the closet, came out of hiding. We got to get a look at her. She does not look good. She does not look good. We're going to watch her entire thing there. She and Tim Walz. We got the dynamic duo. Oh, my God. Thank God. These people will never be in charge of anything. Oh, thank God. Thank God they'll never be in charge of anything. Well, anyhow, so the dynamic duo came out today, and they got roasted. Just, especially Kamala. Woo. It's not looking good for you, Kamala. It's not looking good. Also, yesterday we discussed how Trump was threatening Canada and Mexico with tariffs if they do not take affirmative steps to remedy the flow of illegal aliens and fentanyl into our country. Today, each of those countries reacted, and the reactions could not be more disparate. Very, very different reactions from those leaders, which really show you the difference between what I would describe as being good leadership versus crap leadership, honestly. Not going to kid you. And I'm going to walk you through that. In addition, I have video after video that I stumbled on, which really just made me laugh. Almost all of them. Really topical. Maybe one or two aren't, but really topical. Relating to events of the day. All that and more over the next couple of hours. Just settle in, grab your popcorn, sit down, and enjoy the show. Listening to the dulcet tones of Good Lawgic as I bring to you the day's events as I see them. And I'm going to begin with the joint call conducted by Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, because I haven't watched it yet. This is my fresh reaction. I like providing a fresh reaction to things. So I have not pre-screened this. I've seen a clip of it. I saw a 30-second clip of Kamala where she did not look good. She did not look good. But yeah, we're gonna watch this now. I only knew that Tim Walz was in it because when I went searching for this video, I got that. I'm like, whoa, whoa, mama, whoa, Nelly. Yeah. That's what we got. So I'm assuming that he's in here for more than just a brief intro, but we'll see. We'll see. I have not yet seen it. Let's get to it.
Good afternoon, everyone. To everyone who's on the call, I can't express my deep gratitude to you. Personally, of being on this ticket was the privilege of a lifetime to be with.
You will never be on a ticket again. Never, ever. This guy did so much to be an anchor, thank God, to whatever dismal hopes Kamala ever had. Such an anchor, both with his leftist policies, his weirdo type of things. I like how to his credit, he got in front of the whole weird thing to avoid basically being called weird. He came out of the gate before he was even selected to be her running mate by calling the Vance and Trump weird. But he's legitimately a weird dude. I mean, we can put aside the really bizarre stuff, that people throw into conspiracy theorists about, what he did in his college days. I'm talking about, it's a really weird thing to lie about your valor. That's a really, really weird thing. It's a really weird thing to promote transition kids from around the country should filter in to your country, to your state. And if you want to transition, just flee here and we'll take care of you. Also, to be welcoming in basically illegal aliens as much as you can. So we're going to be welcoming in two groups of people. Really confused kids about their sexuality and illegal aliens. And then we're going to say that no person, stranger or otherwise, who talks to a minor about their sexuality can ever be prosecuted for it. So he created the perfect storm of basically saying anyone can basically try grooming whomever they want, and I'm going to huddle into my state as many legal aliens who we have no idea who and what they are. And that's not to say that illegal aliens are looking to harm people. Of course, the vast majority of them are not. The vast majority of them are not. I get that. But it's not the vast majority who are the concern. It's the fact that you have, let's say 2% of them are psychopath lunatics, and you're welcoming them to your state, and they're the ones who are going to be looking for the kids. They're the ones who are going to be looking for these lost kids. It's the healthy, normal ones aren't looking for the kids. So that's what that's the three policies this guy put into effect in his own state. So, and then he came out there just with all the stuff talked from his high school days. I'm not going to get into the whole horse thing and stuff like that because I don't know. I don't have enough evidence to. The more offensive the claim, the more verifiable truth I'll demand before I propagate that. But it doesn't help. Doesn't help. Then exposed about lying about being in China. In Tiananmen Square? That's like saying I was at the fall of the Berlin Wall because I was in Germany that summer, but you were there 2 months later. You remember the event. You remember being there, or you don't say, oh, I'm a knucklehead. Oh, I'm just a knucklehead. So this guy's career is over on a national stage. I don't know. I mean, apparently he's so popular in his own home jurisdiction that his county voted for Trump. I mean, talk about the entire campaign season. Every time they would trot out some crazy neocon who was looking to get 10 minutes of fame by stabbing Trump in the back, the left would scream, "Look at the people who are around them, how well they know him. They're the ones who tell you what they are." Well, you know what? The voters who live around Tim Walz told us what they think of him. A lot more convincing, a lot more compellingly, and a lot larger numbers. A lot more compellingly. So thankfully, this clown is not going to have any sort of federal power in the foreseeable future.
Vice President Harris, but as an American, to see you out there and to see the work that you did, to know that you put your heart, your soul, your time, your talent, your treasure into something bigger than yourselves, the promise of this country, a place where everyone belongs, where no one needs to go hungry or be unsheltered, and where differences of opinion can be celebrated and differences of ideas. And you put that out there and you worked hard for it. And for that, I am forever grateful. I also recognize the emotions you're going through.
And they're going through some emotions. They're going through some emotions. Oh, are they going through emotions? They're going through emotions. Let me just pause for a second. Off topic. Hey, Joe, just got my son's winter break schedule. He gets Xmas and all Hanukkah off this year. Happy Turkey Day, sir. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. It is a very cool type of thing. This is one of the very unusual years that the Jewish, the solar and lunar calendar happen to match up really well, in the sense that Christmas and Hanukkah commence on the same day. The first night of Hanukkah falls out this year on December 25th. So it's nice when that works out for people who, especially people who are looking to work out scheduling and stuff like that. That's great. But he's talking about how concerned they are. You want to know why they're so concerned? Do you want to know why I should share with you why they're so concerned, because people are very bothered right now. People on the left are very bothered. This is what they think reality is right now. This is what they think. I mean, you tell me, do you think that, I'm curious whether you think what we're about to see is what they actually think, or whether this was just fear-mongering that no one thinks. But I'm sure some of their useful idiot followers believe this crap.
It's a sad day for America.
Oh, this is the wrong one. Damn it.
It's a sad day for America.
Nope. Still the wrong one. That's not right either. Damn it. I got the wrong one here. Give me 1 second. How do I have that twice? It's so messed up. Here it is.
What?
Wow, timing on that really got blown out. Sorry, I had the wrong clip there. You tell me whether you think this is what they actually believe or not. I'm sure a lot of their idiot followers do that.
What would a second Donald Trump term look like?
Well, he cannot be the next president. Because if he is,
you can't imagine the things that he's going to do. Mexico, Canada. We can't go to Canada because eventually Canada will become annexed to America
and shoot visitors to the White.
You can't go there because we're annexing it. Everyone knows this.
White House. Yeah. That means he can shoot the first lady.
We're going to see what.
Oh my God, Melania. Oh my God, Melania. Watch out, Melania. Watch out.
Violence, the likes of which we didn't even see on January 6th.
Make it illegal to run against him, to throw his opponents in jail, to shut down the media.
He will make him.
It's going to make it illegal to run against him when he runs a third time. Throw everyone in jail.
Self into the Fuhrer, and he will make everybody raise their hand and salute him using.
You get your hand higher. Get your hand. The hand must be higher. You can understand why a lot of people on the left are really bothered.
Martial law against the American people.
Terminate the Constitution.
Rewrite the Constitution.
Create mass internment camps.
Throw everyone into Gitmo.
Might be sent to jail, or their rights might be suppressed, especially minority groups in society.
You might have any.
Oh my gosh, the poor minorities. Every one of them is going to be thrown in jail now. This is craziness. It's such. How did we elect this guy? How did we elect him?
This might be suppressed, especially minority groups in society.
You might have any number of things happen to you and your family.
Every one of us, our freedom, our liberty, none of us is safe.
It's going to have people around him executing against an enemy's list.
Assassinate generals.
Ordering.
Oh my God.
Him executing against an enemy's list.
Assassinate generals.
Ordering troops to attack American citizens.
Trump's very well armed and extremist base will try to kill people.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to go on record saying this, okay? I do not sanction any of you going around and killing people, okay? I am very, very firm on this. I'm very, very firm. I cannot condone any of you just going around killing folks, okay? I know Trump won. I know that might incite y'all to say, oh my gosh, he won. Now I'm totally free to just go around killing folks. You might have thought that, but I'm here to tell you, no, absolutely no. No going around and just randomly killing folks, okay? I know he won. I know. And you'd say to myself, but wait, I thought he won. I thought he won. We're all armed. Why can't we go around killing people? I don't understand. Nope. I'm here to tell you definitively. I'm giving you my legal opinion, my moral opinion, and I'm saying this very sincerely. I really don't want any of you going around killing anyone. I mean that 100% sincerely. Oh my gosh.
Trump's very well armed and extremist base will try to kill people.
He's going to basically burn the house down.
He will unravel the institutions of our democracy.
Draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler.
Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini.
Makes Donald Trump even more dangerous.
Wants to take away your vote.
Senate and the House are immediately going to be paralyzed.
People will begin in their minds to censor themselves. They might say, well, maybe I shouldn't say this.
It's the end of democracy.
I think that could be the end of our democracy.
But democracy is dead if Trump is reelected.
Damn it. We had a 250-year experiment down the toilet. It's dead. I don't know why you're going to be running any candidates. It's dead. It's over.
To Putin, that democracy will be at risk.
The absolute destruction of the Justice Department as we know it.
The Justice Department could be
Justice Department too? Absolutely destroyed?
entirely transformed.
I am really concerned about that.
Every person who was associated with the attempted coup elevated in the administration.
If he's reelected, he will curb transgender rights.
And the rule of law.
Arrest political opponents.
To persecute, not prosecute, but persecute his enemies.
Take a wrecking ball to the rule of law.
He's going to make the law. Everyone else will have to follow.
Vote for.
I am the law. I am the law.
Donald Trump may mean the last election that you ever get to vote in.
To go after the independent and free parts of American civic life.
He would tear down our institutions, purge the government of employees.
Department by department effort to weaponize the powers of the government.
To use the military to quash protests.
The government of all democratic safeguards,
junking American democracy as we have always known it.
That he would try to stay in office beyond a second term, that he would never leave office.
There's no question.
Nope.
Trump is real.
There's no question. There's no question. It's not even a question. There's no question.
Elected, he won't leave.
Donald Trump will never leave office voluntarily.
And what that means is that everybody who wants us to remain a republic has to put every other thing aside and work together urgently right now to stop that from happening.
Well, you failed. Well, you failed. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So those are the concerns. Those are the concerns that they have there. You have to sympathize with these folks. Those are the concerns. Those are the concerns that they have. You know, and that's what That's what Tampon Tim here is talking about. He's like, I know some of you upset. Well, democracy, as you know, is ending it, and he's going to be a dictator for life. Calls the Fuhrer. You're going to have to, folks can go around killing everybody. Difference of opinion can be celebrated. While FEMA considered Trump supporters domestic terrorists, and people wanted to put the unjabbed in camps. Yeah. They didn't really want to celebrate me when I was saying, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. They silenced me for speaking out against laws about that. Throw his opponents in jail. Can't make this up. Yeah, that's it's unbelievable. Only days before the 2024 election, Kamala abused her position as vice president to hold a press briefing in order to say, Trump is Hitler. She then fled the litany of questions from the press. Of course she did. That's my favorite joke about how busy I'm trying to keep women, blacks, Mexicans, Jews down. I'm busy. You are a very busy guy, Matt. Matt's. Everyone should. Do you think Matt's just like goofing off? No, he's a busy guy. So how many of these pontificators actually fleeing the country since they're in mortal danger? Mortal danger. Fatality. The supporters don't need to do anything. 40% of them will remove themselves anyway, especially when they realize the front hall won't change anything. They're not gonna be removing themselves. It's all talk. Yeah. See, I don't think these people believe the idiocy they were spewing. The question is how many of their viewers believe it.
And I share those with you. As the vice president often says, we weren't running against something, we were running for something. And to what?
Oh, you were totally running against something. You didn't get $1.5 billion overnight because people just decide, oh, we're really passionate about Kamala and Timmy. No, that didn't happen. That's not what happened.
The joy, the vision, the compassion.
The
decency that the vice president brought to this, and that each and every one of you reflected every place we went, the caring and the sense of joy. I know it's incredibly disappointing now, and look, candidly, it's a bit scary because there's a very different vision that's being put out there. But now more than ever, we need the light to shine through. We need to be able to be that hope for the neighbor who's really wondering. We need to be that
which neighbor? What are they wondering about?
Anchor for the folks who are wondering what's next. And each of you did the work. You took time out of your busy lives and you continued to do it. And it makes a difference. On the campaign trail, I would ask, there will be a day of reckoning when it will be asked, what did you do during the 2024 campaign? Well,
I'm going to be able to say, I succeeded as best I could in making sure that this dude never was a heartbeat away. Oh my God. Can you imagine that cackling? Having to deal with that cackle for 4 years.
I know the people on this call can say everything they possibly could. And for that, as an American, I'm incredibly grateful. And I mentioned that just yesterday, the product of the things the vice president fought for and the things that she got done.
We still don't know what she was fighting for. We still don't know what was she fighting for?
We had the final pot of money from the American Rescue Plan that we were able to put $5 million here in Minnesota into food assistance for hungry families during this holiday season. That's the type of stuff you were fighting for. That's the type.
Did she get that done? Was that what she did? Because I don't think she did that. I'm fairly positive she had nothing to do with that. She had nothing to do with that. I'd be surprised if you had something to do with creating that.
Type of things that make a difference. And those things are just as important now as they were before Election Day. And so I hope all of you take care of yourselves, take care of your families, find the place in your community to heal both yourselves and your community.
Wasn't his state the place that had like the $200 million worth of theft of COVID food relief? Wasn't that under his watch? Wasn't that his problem? That there was the whole fraud thing that was going on specifically in Minnesota. This guy's worrying about getting food relief because those are the important thing. Conceptual James, aka James Lindsay, put out a really important thought about the difference between left and right. And I'm going to be going through that. after we go through this, because it really is the perfect transition from these woke leftist idiots and their perceptions of power into transitioning over to Trudeau versus Mexican president. We're gonna see because it's a really great analysis that I want to dissect with you, and I plan on breaking down with you in between those two segments.
And then when you're ready to get back in this fight, because it continues on, and I know that I've said it often on the campaign trail, I'm preaching to the choir. I couldn't be prouder to be with a choir that's on this call. You did everything that was asked. I also would have to say, I think all of us saw the possibility, and I know there's a bit of
volumes. I mean, these are people who, like, you know, were basically around you day and night, and they went into volumes. Yep.
A feeling of loss because we saw what a real leader looks like. We watched a speech on the ellipse the week before the election where Vice President Harris delivered on the best of America. She delivered the best of our better angels. She delivered a vision where all of us mattered. She did it with grace and dignity and continued to do that every single day. She is still in this fight. She is doing it every single day. She is not.
Her career is over on a federal level. When I say federal level, look, a state might decide to entrust her with power. She can go back to California and perhaps gain political power there. I don't even think she's going to get that. I don't even think she'll succeed in that endeavor. This was an utter collapse for her. Hopefully. I mean, there's no chance, zero chance she wins a primary. Zero chance she ever wins Democratic primary. It just like everything, like from not having any messaging, looking cringe, losing and leaving Donald Trump in power, which leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth from her side of the aisle, and to embracing the Cheneys. Everything about what she did here was a disaster for the future of her political career.
Not done with her current job, and she's not done being part of it with all of you.
Oh, yes,
and as I said, personally, it was a privilege to be on this ticket. It was a personal privilege to be able to become friends with an incredible leader, which someone who was willing to take on some of the toughest fights and continues to do so. And I would just ask all of you to join me in welcoming our Vice President, Kamala Harris.
Here we go. We need to hear from our Vice President, Kamala Harris. She's got so many things she's taking care of, our Vice President.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Back at you, brother. You are such an extraordinary leader, and we have become lifelong friends.
That's not true. That's definitely not true.
Just in front of everyone, I want to thank you, Tim. You lead with courage. You lead with heart. You see the people. You care about the people.
No,
you believe in uplifting the dignity to which all people are entitled, and you do it and you have a sense of fun when you're doing it. But you are an extraordinary leader, and obviously the people of Minnesota are very, very lucky to have you there. But you are a national leader and a dear friend, and thank you. Noel, thank you for your work in Pennsylvania and all that you did for our campaign.
I don't know who this call is with. I don't know if this was meant to get leaked or this just got. I don't know what the story is here. I don't really care very much about what the objective was behind this thing. This seems like it's a call with different staffers or something like that. I don't know if they intended for this to go public or not. Who the hell knows? If some of you know, you can weigh in on that. Tim also went on a spending spree in Minnesota. The $18 billion surplus we had was spent upon illegal immigrants, free housing, free medical, free college. Now the state is nearly $10 billion in debt. He's evil. Yep. There you go. They spent the whole campaign saying America is doing better than ever. Now it was about how some people are on the brink of famine. Yeah, it is a very strange thing, isn't it? Looking for donations, selling fear and hope. They're always looking for donations. Kamala speech reminds me of SNL Smiley self-reflections. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn it, I'm special. Scamala. I came up with Kamala Hot Mess instead of Kamala Harris. I was like, I should have thought of that a long time ago. Kamala Hot Mess. Scam was currently on vacation in Hawaii, $7 million escort, $13,000 a night. She still has not paid some of her campaign staff. Yeah, she's good, but she cares about the people. She cares about the people. Very much cares. She just wants to get back her million in debt, 20 million in debt. 20 million in debt. And Matt Skinner hitting me with 5. Count them, 5 good Lawgic memberships. Do I have this open here? I do. Who'd you bring to me? Following people gifted memberships courtesy of Matt Skinner. That includes Sandy, Colorado, Richard Stuplick, JPC, John Brzezinski, and Terry Ruggiero. Did I miss someone? JPC, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got them all. All right. Welcome to follow, you guys. Welcome aboard. The following is not your parents' type of cult. See, your parents, they were off there just throwing the virgins into volcanoes. They were wearing like the whole flower wreaths and stuff like that, which was frankly a little bit, And it's not at all a cult. But welcome to the following. Please express your gratitude to Matt Skinner, who's awesome. I should put a goal up here. I'm gonna put that same goal up there. We'll make this 15 super chats, and we'll make it 2 hours. And we'll do that. We'll do five new followers, which means people I'm going to follow on X. 15 super chats, yellow or higher. I'll count the 3 that came in before him. Snugglestrug says Tim Walz praising 5 million food benefits in Minnesota. Minnesota taxpayer-funded food pantry literally banned white people from access. I just got out of jail. Missed you guys. Did you really? I missed you. We missed you too. The volcano must be appeased, Joe. Wow. It's not your parents' kind of cult.
And let me just say to everyone on this call, I am so grateful for you. And I'm so thankful to you. I'm thankful.
I won't be paying you. I'm still deep in debt. I won't be paying you. I won't. And by the way, in case I'm worried that some of you might think I'm making that up. I didn't just come up with that she's not paying folks. I didn't make that up. I'm not making that up. When I'm talking about her not paying people, that's actually from, is it this clip? I think this is the clip. Yeah, this is the clip right here.
Stop sending me emails.
This is the clip that I wanted to share with you all here, where this woman's really hasn't paid her own staff.
Stop sending me emails asking for money for the Harris Walz campaign. You spent $1.5 billion in a few months. I mean, did somebody steal it? I've never heard of anything like this. And you're in debt, like 20 million. Nearly $500 million on advertising. Now we're hearing the party can't pay people who work for them, that they didn't get paid for weeks.
See that? You see it?
Our senior staff were summarily fired or told that they wouldn't be receiving any pay last week. And now we see basically massive layoffs.
And the money started pouring in. Remember this, Chris. It wasn't pouring in for Harris. It was pouring in against Trump.
There you go. Yeah, I wasn't making it up when I said that she's not paying her staff. She's not. That's not my claim. That's just reality. So anyhow, but she's apparently off in Hawaii now on some multi-million-dollar splurge, hasn't paid her staff, and it's $20 million in debt.
For your love of our country and your willingness to put the work into it.
To be a sucker.
I'm thankful for the faith that you put in me and Governor Walz and our team. And I am thankful because I know your character is such that you're not going to get knocked down. And you're in this fight. And you're in it for all the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that about you. It's why you're part of this call right now and all the work that you did over those 107 days and even before. That's your nature. And
I'm going to bleed that dry. I'm going to hope to keep bleeding that.
the outcome of this election obviously is not what we wanted. It is not what we worked so hard for.
It's weird because all the I saw a whole bunch of Democrats who were basically putting out videos saying it's part of the plan. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, it's coming. She's waiting for them to expose themselves. She's waiting. She's waiting. I gotta tell you, if this is all part of the plan, this is a very intricate plan. It's very intricate. It has many, 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 many layers. It does. Many, 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 many layers.
But I am proud of the race we ran.
Why? What part of it are you proud of? What part of it? They keep, the one complaint they keep having. She's proud of the race they ran. All right. On that note, I got another clip for you because I'm loaded with clips. That's what I do. She's proud of the race she ran. Some folks are complaining about how the race ended up getting run there, and they're blaming the media. This is her staff here thinking that this was not a flaw in Kamala. They still don't see it. I don't understand how it is that they don't see this. This is her campaign staff in an interview.
I would say, I mean, look, I am not media hater by any measure. And I think that, we women don't get far in life talking about double standards. So that's not the point. But
so I'll just throw that out there, that there's a double standard without I won't say that I'm saying that there's a double standard because I won't say that because I'm not the type of person who says that there's a double standard. I won't say that, a man is held to a different standard than a woman because I won't say that because we don't get ahead by saying, and I'm the expert at getting ahead. You can see that from my successful campaigns that I run. So I won't say that because that's something that shouldn't be said because it's not helpful to say that. So I won't say that there's a double standard. I won't say it. I'm very much not telling you that there's a double standard. Purposefully not saying.
I do think a narrative, 107 days, 2 weeks fucked up because of a hurricane, 2 weeks talking about how she didn't do interviews, which
she was doing better the shorter part of the campaign. You know that, right? I mean, the longer it was running, the worse it was getting. This is what's so mind-boggling. Like literally, she went rising up and then just. So to think that even longer would have resulted in some sort of upswing. Why? What about her campaign tells us that?
She was doing plenty, but we were doing in our own way. We had to, be the nominee, had to find a running mate and do a rollout. I mean, there was all these things that you kind of want to factor in, but real people heard in some way that we were not going to have interviews, which was both not true and also so counter to any kind of standard that was put on Trump that I think that was a problem. And then
he did tons of interviews. Tons of interviews. He was interviewing with podcasters left and right. Yeah, okay, he wasn't going on CBS. He wasn't doing that, but he was doing tons of interviews.
And on top of that, we would do an interview, and to Stephanie's point, the questions were small and processy and about
dumb.
They were not informed.
Processy? They were processy?
A voter who was trying to listen to learn more or to
the process doesn't tell a voter more? I don't even know what the hell this idiot's talking about.
Understand. And I'm not here to say that the whole system was focused on us incorrectly. I'm just saying, again, of the things we need to explore as we move forward as a campaign and as a country, that does a disservice to voters. And, I think back and think we should have signaled more of our strategy early on about podcasts and who we were trying to reach. But we had a limited amount of time to reach the people we're trying to reach, and we were trying to go to them. But being up against a narrative that we weren't doing anything or we were afraid to have interviews is completely bullshit, and also took hold a little bit. And we just gave us another thing we had to fight back for that Trump never had to worry about.
Pluff,
I have so many questions for this woman. My God. It's the glasses. The glasses just make them incredibly stupid. I don't know. Which comes first? Which is the chicken? Which is the egg? I don't even know. Well, anyhow, let's get back to Kamala talking about her wonderful campaign. How wonderful her campaign was. She was besaddled with interviews that didn't give her an opportunity to shine. I don't know what the Stephanie Rule interview was. I don't know what the ABC. I don't know what the 60 Minutes interview where they were editing out all her crap answers was. I don't know. I guess there wasn't enough there. There wasn't enough lipstick for this pig.
And your role in this was critical. What we did in 107 days was unprecedented.
Of course, it was unprecedented. If you got 12% of the vote, it was unprecedented. No one's ever tried running a campaign in 107 days. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean any. You lost every swing state. Every swing state. There's 40 states that everyone knows the outcome before it starts. And then there's 7 swing states. And you lost them all. You lost, and then the states that you managed to hold on to, even there, your margins were smaller than ever before. What about this was a good result? What about this was a successful? What part of this is a successful campaign, other than the ridiculous swaths of money you managed to raise, and still fall further and further and further behind?
Think about the coalition that we built, and we were so intentional about that.
Oh, about that you got the Cheneys. Was that the right strategy there though? What was it?
You would hear me talk about it all the time.
We got Cardi B and Liz Cheney. Oh my God. Together we call them wet ass messy.
Being a daughter of parents who are active in the civil rights movement, I know and believe that the best movements that are about progress in our country mean that it's leaders that we are dedicated to the coalition, to bringing.
What the hell is the coalition? What is the coalition?
People together that seemingly have nothing in common, but
other than a mutual hatred for Donald Trump. How's that going to help you in 4 years?
Have everything in common. A coalition where we bring people together based on a deep love of our country.
So in case you were worried, she still talks a lot and says nothing.
And our understanding that the strength of our country will be a function of our willingness to put in the work. And that we will do that work with a sense of joy, yes. With a sense of work ethic and understanding it's going to be hard, but it's good work. It's good work to be engaged in a collective fight for America's future. And it means so much to me and to Governor Walz that you knocked on doors, you called friends, you called in favors. You said, hey, I showed up at your softball game. Now I need you to show up at the campaign office. You put in the time. It was personal for you. And you gave all that you could to support our campaign. Because of your efforts, get this, we raised an historic $1.4 billion, almost $1.5 billion.
Couldn't you have gotten us another 20 million? Couldn't you have gotten us another 20 million while you were there?
From grassroots supporters alone. The most in presidential campaign history.
What part of that was stolen from Joe Biden? She does not look good. She looks like a caricature of herself.
Nearly 8 million donors contributed an average donation of about $56 to fuel our people-powered campaign. And understand that the work that we did included the work that so many of you here did, which is to talk to first-time voters. Many of you are first-time voters. And to talk about how being in...
I'm confused. 8 million times 56. Wouldn't that be 400 million? What? How did she? What? Your math is funky. 8 times 56. It's 448 million. Where'd the other billion come from?
Involved can make a difference, and that remains true.
She look at this smile. She looks so drunk here. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Now, let me get some super chats here. Yeah, this is what we're seeing here, John. I wish I could create a meme. I don't know how. I can imagine the scene from Frozen where Anna sings about Coronation Day in places with Inauguration Day. I'm not familiar with that song. I only know Let It Go, and that's because people wouldn't let it go. Kamala was enjoying the unlimited pina coladas at her all-inclusive Hawaiian resort. Oh my God, it's Leader KH, Leader Joe. Thought you were scheduling a special sack. No, I'm here on time. I'm doing my thing. Kamala video my DMs. Thanks, brother. She does have a nice turkey neck. I thought black did not crack. That's racist. Proud of the race she ran. She failed. The result of lifetime participation trophies can't acknowledge failure, so will never improve. Yep. God bless the brainwash. We're going to be winning for a while. Yeah, I think so too. Kamala writing 5,000-word book report speeches. My brain is off listening to leftist BS and internet say, "Oh, we got some fun times coming soon." I guess that is what the coalition equals. That's a good. That's good. That's a good call. Luck, aka reformed convict. She's brought in with what might have been in the end. That's if the lid of my baby could count in the number of interviews done by KH on its finger. Children of the lid of my oh. Scammy suffers from self-fermenting. Nice. You showed up for softball. Wasn't someone politically targeted for violence? Yeah, but they showed up. And they turned out. I wager a litany of campaign finance violations in Kamala's campaign. Trump staff paid $10 million and Kamala staff paid over $500 million. Fraud. That's what I'm wondering. Like, what was her staff paid? Like, where did this money go? Someone needs to say the Democrats themselves.
You are first-time voters. And to talk about how being involved can make a difference, and that remains true. And that's one of the pieces that I just want us to please take away.
She looks so, that remains true. Oh, this is going to be good. Tell us what remains true. Tell us. Oh my God, the struggle's so real here.
Time voters. Many of you are first-time voters. And to talk about how being involved can make a difference, and that remains true. And that's one of the pieces that I just want us to please take away, that our fight for freedom and for opportunity and for the promise of America, it included, for example, nearly almost 4 million first-time contributors to our campaign because of the work you did of helping people know that they can be engaged and that they're not outside, that they're inside, that we're all in this together. And that
I told you, whenever she swallows or bobbles her head, that's when she knows she's lying, and she's desperately trying to convince her audience of some crap.
work continues. The work must continues of reminding ourselves.
The work must continues. The work must continues at all costs. The work must continues.
That we have an ability to stay engaged in a way that will make a difference. The work that you all did, it's going to have lasting effect.
How? How? How will it have lasting effect? Walk us through that. Walk us through the process of how that's going to have a lasting effect. We all want to know. I'm really curious. How will it have lasting effect?
Again, I'll say, the election didn't turn out like we wanted it to. Certainly not as we planned for it to. But understand that the work we put into it was about empowering people. That's the spirit with the work we did. Our spirit and our work was about saying that it is a strength that we each have to lift people up, as opposed to beating people down. It is a strength we have.
All you did was try to beat Trump down. That's all. That was your whole objective.
That has lasting effect.
How?
So all that work that you did that was about engaging with other people, engaging with perfect strangers and in their face seeing a neighbor, that has lasting effect.
Oh.
It reminds people that there are leaders like you who care and will bring us together.
So you're saying that the people you sent out there went and begged for money from their friends, neighbors, and strangers, that the friends, neighbors, and strangers who they were begging for money from look at the people knocking on their door as leaders. You're the leaders. You're now the leaders because you were knocking on the door begging strangers for money. Because maybe it's just me. I never really took away from that. Someone knocking on my door asking for money was like a real leader. I never looked at it that way. It's an unusual approach. It's an unusual perspective.
And sometimes in the darkest moments, people lose faith in that. Are there people out there that feel that way? And you reminded people that yes, there are. And there are a lot of us. And that strength cannot be taken from us. That is our strength.
Fortunately,
it cannot be taken from us.
Fortunately, it ain't 50% of you.
So listen, as I said the day after the election, I still strongly believe the light of America's promise will burn bright as long as we never.
You spent 3 months saying democracy is going to die forever. If you lose the election, the next day America's light's going to burn bright. I don't understand what happened here. What happened? What happened? This was like the end of the Justice Department and Sig Heil to Sig Heil Trump. What's happening? What's going on? I don't understand what's going on.
Never give up. And we keep fighting. And the fight that fueled our campaign, a fight for freedom and opportunity, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the dignity of all people, that did not end on November 5th.
I were begging you for money. That did not end on November 5th.
A fight for the future, a future in which all people receive the promise of America? No. A fight that is about a fight for the ideals of our nation, the ideals that reflect the promise of America. That fight's not over.
Mm-hmm.
So look, we still have a lot to fight for. Okay, a future where every American can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations.
You already have that. You don't need to fight for that. Thank God. It's a good thing we have that.
Where the women of America have the right to make decisions about their own body, not their.
No. When you're referring to the fetus women and that they have a right to decide what's going to happen to their body?
Government telling them what to do. Our fight for the rule of law, for freedom for all, for equal justice.
Equal justice.
The sacred principle that everyone, no matter where they start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be upheld.
Yeah, that's kind of what MAGA was saying. That's not what you were arguing for. You were arguing to imprison your political enemies.
That's not over. That fight's still in us, and it burns strong.
Swallow. I'm telling every time she swallows or bobbles her head, she knows she's lying.
And I know this is an uncertain time. I'm clear-eyed about that. I know you're clear-eyed about it. And it feels heavy. And I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have.
Do you? But do you? I mean, maybe, I guess, because you didn't really have much power before November. So I guess technically that's true.
Have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So
who did they engage and inspire? You bled like 6 points, like in every state practically.
Don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you. Look, this mission that we have, it takes hard work. But as you've heard me say many times, we like hard work.
Oh yeah, you love hard work.
Is good work.
Oh yeah, hard work. Yeah, stick your head down and jump right on it, Kamala. Stick your head down and get to work.
Hard work can be joyful work. And in doing our work, we will remain committed and intentional about building community, building coalitions, reminding people that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. We will be armed with the faith and the fuel that tells us what is possible and then drives us.
What maybe? What maybe? Tell us. Say it. Say the line. Say the line. Say the line.
To achieve it. So let's continue to organize and mobilize and stay engaged. And I thank you all. I thank you all. We are all in this together. All right? We are all in this together.
You won't hear from me for
and on this
3 years.
Practical eve of Thanksgiving.
You're not going to hear from me for the next 3 years, but we're all in this very much together.
Wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving with the ability and to find the ability at this moment to just remember there is so much to be thankful for. And so I wish for you that you are surrounded by the people you love and who love you. As you know, I encourage you to be around family in whatever way you compose that family, but to take a moment and just reflect on all.
Just listen to your MAGA uncle.
The good you have done and all the good you have yet to do. We are powerful, those of us who love our country. And we got a lot of work to do. And with that, I will hand it over to Noel. Thank you all and happy Thanksgiving from Doug and me and our family.
Just don't say Merry Christmas. All right. All right. This got some mockery. There's some mockery of this, but let's see what you had to say on this. She had that rough bender looking sound. Yeah, it's like she's definitely hungover or something, or like transitioning from like late stage drunk to hungover. I listened to a pod about kamikaze attacks and why Japan thought it was their only option. Somehow the Pod Say America podcast had more levels of desperation and copium. Lasting effect. Yeah, that. Yep, there you go. I had troops less drunk on their 21st birthday. Sounds like an ad man trumpeting about marketing campaigns, engagement, and views, all while sales plummet. D's focus on engagement, ours on government. Yep. Do listeners pay $5? I don't know. Can we get pinned post on locals for those looking to go to inauguration? We can share plans and how to get tickets. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. I can do that. Let me, before I forget that, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do that right now because I'm going to forget. So I'm just going to share info. This is on goodlogic.locals.com about inauguration. Do your thing. I'll pin this. There you go. Done and done. Time for a Trump dance? Maybe later. What? Wait, I have right to my own body now as long as it's not about taking experiment. Yeah. Can't say that. She just sounds like a drunk woman at a bar giving out unsolicited advice, and equally coherent and annoying. Such a microcosm of government. The party of government spends $1 billion 100 days, delivers a crap product, and still goes over budget. Yep. So it is. That's what her whole campaign was. That's what the whole freaking campaign was. Maybe. I hope so. Reminds me of a drunk lady on a bar on Thanksgiving. Whoever wrote this needs fired. Oh, nice. So as you can imagine, this was not very well received. Not very well received at all. A lot of folks were having fun with this.
Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you.
Some of the memes were kind of harsh. Yeah. This was Charlie Kirk's breakdown here. Charlie Cook put out here. As Kamala delivers a message to her dejected supporters, bragging about how they raised nearly $1.5 billion in her failed campaign, David Plouffe finally admits her campaign's internal polling never had Harris ahead of Trump. It was a giant scam.
You called in favors. You said, hey, I showed up at your softball game. Now I need you to show up at the campaign office. You put in the time. It was personal for you.
God, I can't listen to her again. I can't do that. I tortured you once on that. We can do better than that. What else do we have here? This one's subtle. This one's a little subtle. Really not looking.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
It was from Dre Franzer. It was a really good follow. I recommend.
Between you.
Oh no. This one got already. Anyhow, so that was Kamala Harris doing her thing to her people, selling her whatever, her thoughts. I hope she never holds political office again. Like I said, if she does, it'll be some representative office in California. Could she go back to being a senator? I don't know. I'm done with it. We're done with her. Don't worry. Sorry, Tammy. Sorry. Gosh. I wanted you caught up. on what's going on in the world. You have to know what's going on. Breck Nichols says, Joe, I'm 7 years old. This is the most entertaining post-election hysteria I've ever witnessed. It's like Christmas and Hanukkah all wrapped into one. It is a lot of fun. It's because the stakes were so high. the stakes were so friggin' high. And it was even high in ways that we hadn't considered. I mean, we sort of on a subconscious level understood. In ways that on a subconscious level we kind of understood. Like, just as far as, forget about like how cringe they are or how great in his leadership roles are or the illegal aliens or the other. There's even this part of it.
Find everything you need today?
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Oh, God. No.
Everything okay, ma'am?
It's just that you've only scanned a few items and it's already $60. I'm so scared.
Okay, I'm a trained professional, ma'am. I've scanned a lot of groceries. I need you to stay with me.
It's just that my in-laws are in town and they want a charcuterie board.
This isn't going to be easy, so I need you to be brave, all right? What's your name?
Patricia.
Trisha, all right. I need you to take a deep breath. We're about to do the cheese.
Oh, my God. The numbers are going up so fast. Why do we have to be a Balderson's house?
Don't look up there. It only makes it worse. Keep your eyes on me, okay?
Can't you just scan something less expensive?
I can, but let's not forget, it's the little things that add up, all right? Now brace yourself. I'm about to do the mixed nuts.
Oh, my God. I'm going to pass out.
Okay, bite down on this, Patricia. Get ready. I'm going to do the cured meats.
No, stop. I can't do this anymore.
It's too late. There's a line behind you, okay? You're locked in.
I'm not strong enough.
I know it looks like a lot right now, but I promise you, you're going to get home and you're going to wonder, what did I even buy? You've got this, Patricia. Get ready. I'm going to weigh the grapes.
Oh, what have you done to me, you son
Okay, your total's $257.84.
Oh, no.
You got to dig deep. This is the hardest part. Patricia, it's time to pay.
That is so good. That is so good. I was like, I don't know where I'm gonna put that in, but I got to. I thought that was so good. Ignore the zeros. If you can't, you cry. If you can't laugh, you cry. I'm thankful that the babbling harpy finally STF you. Amen. Amen. Joe, this subscriber used to make us watch Kamala. I'm done with Kamala. I don't foresee listening. I'll tell you right now. Okay? Okay? My resolution is, barring a scenario where, God forbid, we declare war on a nation, or Joe Biden has some sort of health issue which portends a scenario that Kamala will step in to his Oval Office. Barring that, I am done playing any video of Kamala Harris that is not purposefully designed to completely mock her. That was not created for the purpose of mocking her. Okay? That's it. That's my commitment to you for the rest of 2024. That's my commitment. Barring those two scenarios, so you got like basically nuclear war or 25th Amendment scenarios, no more serious Kamala statements. So, there you go. Okay? You spoke. Good Lawgic listens. We're done with her. Now, there might be some comedy, but yeah, no more serious videos, including her. Can we review Daniel Penny trial via Inner City Press? Maybe invite him on the show as he has been in courtroom. That's an interesting idea. I can reach out to him. I have his phone number. I can reach out to him and ask him if I can get him on for a show to sort of give me a breakdown as to how that trial is proceeding. I like that idea a lot, actually. Sort of catch us up on the Daniel Penny trial. So It can't be. There's no reason. There's nothing inherently in it. The kosher has a lot of different variables. Like it has to be cooked in prepared in stuff that hasn't been made not kosher, like plates and pots and whatever pans. California Mayor of El Cajon, Bill Wells, revealed Gavin Newsom is threatening to confiscate state pensions and to arrest police that dare help President Trump with deportations. The Summer of Love 2 coming. Yeah, I saw that. I saw something on that, but I ended up I saw it in passing, and I was thinking about perhaps bringing that up. Saw in passing, but yeah, I haven't gotten into it yet. I don't know. Maybe it floats past my. Maybe if it floats past me yet again. Jenna, gift in 5. Count them 5. Good Lawgic memberships. Who'd you bring on in here for us? Who owes you a thank you? Who owes Jenna a thank you? Okay, got it. Did I not? I didn't even do that. No, seagull. I want to end this goal. Did I gotta change that goal because I already got like at least 5, so it should really be 10. I'll make it 10. Can I change it? They don't let me change it. Can I edit it? Remove the goal. Remove. Make a new goal. Start another goal. Say 10. I'll make it during the next hour. I don't know why this didn't take last time. All right. So Jenna brought in, what she bring into us? Quiet Girl. Y'all Doomed. Kat, Eric, Sean. All and how did I miss one? I definitely Quiet Girl, K Drummond. That's the one I missed. You're All Doomed, Kat, and Eric Sean. The 5 of you should please express your gratitude to Jenna for her very generous gift. Welcome to the following. Please bear in mind, I am not the leader of the following. Just a host. Just a host. And Queen of Recruitment, Bella. Hitting with 10 new members of the following. God bless the Queen. All hail the Queen. Who'd you bring on into us into the following here? Bella brought in, please. The following 10 people should express your gratitude for bringing her into the following, which is not at all a cult type of cult because there's no Kool-Aid, no mandatory tracksuits, just highly recommended. No spaceships, no goat sacrifices, no squirrel mutilations, mild farm work, no dancing around bonfires to the beat of a tom-tom, handful of moo-moos, no climbing up mountains or stabbing yourself with the jabby jabs. It's just not at all a cult type of cult. And those 10 people were brought in courtesy of the Queen of Recruitment, was Luke Archer, Mr. Beard, Michael Stutter. Did I Stutter? Michael Studer. You tell me. I don't know. Did I Studer? Auto Patch. Chris Moper. Rhizosphere Gaming. Tay Marius and Mrs. Hayes. All of them brought in. Mrs. Hayes has been here for ages and ages. Good to see you, Mrs. Hayes. She's one of the. Mrs. Hayes is someone who's been flying under the radar here for way too long. She might think I didn't notice her. Like I didn't even know that she's here. No. I know. Miss Hayes been here for like decades. That might be a mild exaggeration, but at least 2 years. Mrs. Hayes. You all should just get to know Mrs. Hayes because Mrs. Hayes is the newest member of the following brought in by the Queen of Recruitment, Bella Stella. God bless you. Good to see you as always. Queen and Mrs. Hayes. You ladies are awesome. All right. I promised you I was going to explain to you just just how the difference between left and right with respect to their perspectives on power. And James Lindsay did a great job, like a really great job of, we put together a thread, which as usual is spot on accurate. The only issue with James Lindsay is he's so educated that historically he's had a difficult time expressing himself without talking over the heads of people, myself included, by the way. He'll throw out there just these established terms of art that I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'm sitting there like having to Google in the middle, which made some of his talks difficult to appreciate. Like, you knew he was saying things that were intelligent and sounded pretty based. And I would get like, I don't know, 85, 90% where he was going. Every once in a while, he'd just throw out a term, just I'd be like, I don't know what he's saying. Now I gotta go Google that. This is like work. This is like homework listening to this guy. Very smart guy. Very, very smart guy. And I don't mean, when I say smart, I should clarify this just as a general principle. A lot of people are educated. Being educated is not at all a sign that you're smart. It's not. There's a lot of really, really educated, stupid people. Spending a lot of time in school and getting yourself an education does not mean you are intelligent. It just means you have a capacity to take tests and do okay in taking those tests. That's all it means. So it means you got enough of a work ethic that you're going to sit through those to do okay. And it's pretty much that's it. You can be pretty stupid though and get what's considered a fairly good education. So to me, that's never a sign of intellect. No, intellect is the ability to apply what you've learned into something new. Intellect takes many, many, many forms, to be fair. Intellect could be your ability to grasp things quickly. That's a form of intellect, natural ability that you have and have capacity to develop. Intellect could relate to your memory to some degree. Intellect, it could refer to your artistic abilities, or we call someone artistic genius. There's a certain type of genius that they have from the left side of their brain. Or intellect could be, most commonly referred to probably, is your ability to take that which you have and apply it to other scenarios. So see through things and have that sort of creativity of thought. And there's really an infinite number of other forms that it takes, but those are some of the most common forms that we have. So when I refer to James Lindsay here as being highly intelligent, I mean to say he is not simply highly educated, but the guy is pretty freaking brilliant. So, as he writes, there's a popular media idea about the power out there. So he's had a difficult time trying to get people to understand him because he's just like on a different kind of level. And he's definitely taken steps to dumb it down for people like me who struggle sometimes to know what the heck he's talking about. And I appreciate that. I'm going to point out when I see it happen here in this thread. So there's a pretty popular meme idea about power out there. It's nothing short of propaganda. It goes like this. The left wants power. Conservatives want to be left alone. This is why the left always wins. So conservatives should desire power because you have to desire power in order to compete with the left that's desiring power. We don't have enough of the thirst for power. It's deeply wrong. Dialectical manipulation. See, I told you. He starts out there, dialectical manipulation. I'm like, all right, I've never penned those two words together. Dialectical manipulation always mixes truths and lies. So when people are using words to sort of play with your brain, that's always going to mix truth and lies, and it always screws up context. In this case, it's absolutely true. The left covets not just wants power, which that's an important distinction. It's not that they want power. It's that there's a deep thirst for power. And it's generally true that conservatives wish to be left alone. Those are the truths. The rest is misleading. Leftism could be defined, in fact, by its relationship with power. The left and normal people, particularly conservatives, have different relationships with power. The left covets it and, failing to truly understand it, always abuses it. So that if they get power,
All right, y'all. I don't even know how to start this video because honestly, this is different than everything else we've done because this is the single largest employer in the United States. We are talking about a company that is worth almost $1 trillion on its own. As many of you know, I have been investigating a massive company now for a while, and I have kept my lips sealed on who it was. Now I can reveal it was Walmart, but something incredible happened in the course of my investigation. Walmart became aware of our investigation and reached out to me. This was critical and honestly...
Wait a minute. Torture. I remedied that. Where was we? Okay. It wouldn't be an episode of Good Logic if that didn't happen. I'm convinced of it, right? I better help make that damn goal. I'm counting. I'm really gonna say just half of that. I'm gonna say like if I get 7, I'm gonna count those got there. Looking forward to Turkey Day with Lib family. That should be fun. All right. So leftism could be defined in fact by its relationship with power. The left and normal people, particularly conservatives, have different relationships with power. The left covets it and failing to truly understand it always abuses it. Conservatives don't. For the left, power is how you force people to be ways they don't want to be, oppressed or re-educated into transformation. They believe everyone abuses power against them because they're narcissists and covet power so they can claim it and abuse it back themselves. So they look at power as something to be wielded. It doesn't frame it that way, but that's basically how the purpose of power is so that you can wield power. And they're either the ones wielding it or they perceive it as being wielded against them. That's how they look at power. It's one of two things. It's either being, and you can see it even when they use the term patriarchy. It's as if it's designed to say it's being wielded against women, right? I mean, it's an interesting concept that by definition, what power is. It's necessarily something that's being used for evil, and we want to be the ones to do that, as opposed to really the healthiest form of governance throughout human history. There's not been a democracy or even a constitutional republic. The healthiest form of governance throughout history has been the benevolent king, meaning a king who actually cares about the well-being of his subjects. That throughout history has been the healthiest form of governance. The problem is it's very hard to find the benevolent king, and you don't know whether or not the king is going to be benevolent until, well, a little bit into his reign. So, but that has been the healthiest form of governance. That's a person who has ultimate power, but actually is trying to use it to embetter the lives of others. But the left doesn't have a concept of a benevolent king. Because if he's a king, that must be wielding power to harm others for his own personal benefit. So, but the left, part of the reason they cover power and really thirst for it is because they feel as if either we're going to be wielding it against others or others are going to be wielding it against us. Again, to be absolutely clear on this point, we can and should define leftism by this particular relationship to power. The left is that socio-political faction that covets abusive, demiurgic, I told you he's going to use words that no one knows, demiurgic power so it can abuse it, so they can abuse it to force people to adhere to leftist demands. We have the power. Now we can force you to agree to transing children. Otherwise, you're going to lose your ability to see your kid if you end up splitting, if you end up divorcing. We're going to use it to force you to, if you want to go to work, in that case, you're going to take certain types of. We're going to use it to basically say, if you say things we don't like, we're going to take away your microphone and cancel you. So that's the use of power. That is what leftism is always about. It's always fascistic by definition. the meme, left wants power, conservatives don't, so left wins, so conservatives should want power, isn't wrong about leftists, but it assumes the leftist relationship to power overall when talking about conservatives. Thus, handing the whole terrain to the left, it's propaganda. Conservatives have a completely different relationship to power. Conservatives do, and this is actual conservatives, not people who go under the label conservatives, because a lot of conservatives have socialist leftist tendencies within them. Conservatives do not want power, and they aren't abusive with it. Conservatives are stewards of power. Conservatives see the correct role for power to be temporary, faithful stewards of universal standards. It's neither that conservatives don't want power, nor that they won't wield it when they have it. It's that conservatives view power much more cautiously and soberly than leftists. They don't covet power. They see it as a necessary obligation to serve and serve faithfully, i.e. good and benevolent king. I.e. concern.
All right,
What
so
in
let's
that?
talk about what it is that I actually need.
I apologize. Sorry about that. It is neither that conservatives don't want power nor that they won't wield it when they have it. It's that conservatives view power much more cautiously and soberly than leftists. They don't covet power. They see it as necessary obligations to serve and serve faithfully. Christian conservatives will see any civic authority, and that's not to say that there aren't twisted Christian conservatives, but a healthy value Christian conservatives will see any civic authority they step into as a conduit for them to serve people in the community by remaining faithful to God in that community. Secular conservatives will see it as serving those people that represent judiciously and honestly. In other words, conservatives do not tend to have a utilitarian understanding of power and do not covet it. If they have such an understanding and or covet power, they are not conservatives. It doesn't matter if they're Republican, doesn't matter what title they have, they're not actually conservative in ideology. They are leftists. Leftism, remember, can be defined by its relationship to power. This meme then operates as propaganda by placing both the left and conservatives in terms of the leftist relationship to power in order to misdiagnose what's going on and invite conservatives to redefine themselves as power covetous leftists with trad values. It's true. It's very spot on. That we need to covet it so that we can implement our trad values, which is it's such a paradox that I want to wield power to institute traditional values when the wielding of the power itself is not a traditional value. The solution is not coveting power. It's being willing to accept the mantle of power and faithful service while seeking to grow in information, wisdom, and discernment so that honorable and sacred duty can be discharged responsibly and to the betterment of society. Very, very sharp analysis here from James Lindsay. Dude's really, really freaking smart. And yeah, with this in mind, I want to start turning over here now and examining the distinction between the way Mexico and Canada is dealing with the threat of tariffs. You'll see what I mean in a moment. The only power is the one that's respected without using it. Yep. Power comes with responsibility to use it when only necessary. Put more simply, first do no harm, or at least do more good than harm. Really? Harm is a censored word? Why? It's leftists. Leftists are controlling it. They have to basically silence you. There's a certain cowardice in that leftist need for power. There's a cowardice, and there's like an insecurity. There's a real insecurity. If you actually have power and don't have concerns about your maintaining that power, it's much easier to be confident and walk with your chin up high and not be afraid as to how things are going to sort themselves out. So I'm going to first look at Mexico's response. Here is Mexico. This is how Mexico responded to Trump's tariff threat. And I'm going to tell you right now, the president of Mexico, which is what's her name? His name? Felipe Carrillo Puerto. Sorry, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, Presidente Constitucional de los Estados Unidos Mexicanos. Claudia Pardo, President of Mexico. So she penned a 2-page letter back to Trump. And I'm going to tell you something. This sounds like an effective leader to me. Because remember, I was saying just yesterday, healthy leadership says I'm the leader of country X, and my perspective is X first, second, third, fourth. We need to respect that the leader of a country should be saying, I'm putting my country's interests first. And I'm going to need to deal with other countries on an international setting. I understand that, and I'll deal with them with respect. But I'm not putting your interests ahead of my own. And I'll deal with you with respect. But I'm not putting your interests ahead of my own. And I can tell you something. This is the type of leadership which I think actually Donald Trump probably can respect. This is the English translation of what she wrote. Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo has just penned a letter to Donald Trump, brilliant, firm, and unflinching, a document that will set the tone for an entirely new era of U.S.-Mexican relations. I'll tell you this, it is a very well-written letter. It's a very well-written letter. Dear President-elect Trump, I'm writing to you regarding your statement on Monday, November 25th concerning migration, fentanyl trafficking, and tariffs. You may not be aware that Mexico has developed a comprehensive policy to assist migrants from different parts of the world who cross our territory en route to the southern border of the United States. As a result, and according to data from your country's Custom and Border Protection, encounters at the Mexico-U.S. borders have decreased by 75% between December 2023 and November 2024. That, by the way, that's nice. That's good. That doesn't mean you're a long way from being done because of how high the numbers were in December 2023. Moreover, half of these who arrive do so through a legally scheduled appointment under the U.S. CBP-1 program, meaning most of the problem you're having here is coming from the current administration, which sucks and is purposefully trying to get illegal immigrants into your country. For those reasons, migrant caravans no longer arrive at the border. Even so, it's clear that we must work together to create a new labor mobility model that is necessary for your country, as well as address the root causes that compel families to leave their homes out of necessity. Now, so she says, first and foremost, look at how she structures this letter. This is why I say this is a very well-written letter. She's like, okay, she's doing this timely, quickly responding to his statements and saying, okay, first and foremost, you need to understand that fortunately the problem has been significantly, drastically reduced already. And to the extent it's still in existence, a large part of it is because of the current administration. So you're looking at saying this is Mexico's fault. I'll tell you, we did pretty much we accomplished the bulk of the work, and much of the work that's left over, more than half what's remaining, will be gone once the current administration is out. Even so, it's clear that we must work together. I'm not saying we're done. I'm willing to work with you. Create a new labor mobility model necessary for your country. I recognize your country has needs. I'm willing to work with you on that. But we also showing that she has sensitivities to the people who are actually struggling. So that reads well for her. If even a small percentage of what the United States allocates to war were instead dedicated to building peace and fostering development, it would address the underlying causes of human mobility. All right. I think that's a little bit, we'll see. Okay. I don't have a problem with her writing that. On another note, and for humanitarian reasons, Mexico has consistently expressed its willingness to help prevent the fentanyl epidemic in the United States from continuing. So you mentioned illegal immigration. I'm on that. Here's my response on the fentanyl. This is, after all, public health and consumption problem within your society. So far this year, Mexican armed forces and prosecutors have seized tons of various types of drugs, 10,340 firearms, and have detained 15,000 individuals for violence related to drug trafficking. So it's not like we're not doing nothing. We're doing nothing about this. Further, because we don't know if these numbers are significant. 10,000 firearms could be out of 2 million. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? It could be out of 400,000, and 15,000 individuals can be out of 300,000. We don't know. We don't know what these numbers reflect, or it could be 15,000 individuals out of 26,000, which is a lot more significant. So we really don't know. Raw data here is kind of useless without knowing how serious the problem is. But the point is, we're not doing nothing about it, and potentially it's significant. Furthermore, the Mexican Congress is in the process of approving a constitutional reform to classify the production, distribution, and commercialization of fentanyl and other synthetic drugs as a serious crime without bail. So we're already engaging in legislative reform to try and take steps to discourage production and distribution of fentanyl. However, it's publicly known that the chemical precursors used to produce this and other synthetic drugs are illegally entering Canada, US, and Mexico from Asian countries. So it's hard for us to kind of stop it because it's just flowing in here. This underscores the urgent need for international collaboration that we sort of got to get this thing from, we're going to need your help on that. You must also be aware of the illegal trafficking of firearms into my country from the United States. She's like, and by the way, here are issues that are of concern to us. And this is a reasonable thing for her to throw out there. In other words, I'm not just taking your point line down. Here's our perspective on these issues. And here's some issues that we have about the flow into our country, the flow of negative influence, or we deem to be negative influence, into our country. 70% of the legal weapons seized from criminals in Mexico come from your country. We do not produce these weapons, nor do we consume synthetic drugs. Tragically, it is in our country that lives are lost to the violence resulting from meeting the drug demand in yours. President Trump, migration and drug consumption in the United States cannot be addressed through threats or tariffs. What is needed is cooperation and mutual understanding to tackle these significant challenges. Now, whether or not that's true, okay, but at least you can understand where she's coming from. She makes the argument fairly effectively. And then she shows a little backbone, which you have to respect. Even if you don't like it as an American, I have to respect the fact that this is showing some there's some backbone that's measured. It's a measured level of backbone, saying, don't think that you're just going to bull me into submission and that you're going to get whatever you want because you're the United States and we're just Mexico. Please, you're saying, and this is saying respectfully, for every tariff, there will be a response in kind until we put at risk our shared enterprises. So it's mutual self-infliction here. Yes, shared. For instance, among Mexico's main exporters in the United States are General Motors, Stellantis, Ford Motor Company, which arrived in Mexico 80 years ago. Why impose a tariff that would jeopardize them? Such a measure would be unacceptable and would lead to inflation and job losses in both the United States and Mexico. Now, as far as that element of it, I don't know that actually would lead to inflation. This is something that the left loves to claim, that tariffs result in inflation. It's just not true. It could have an impact on inflation, definitely. The level of that inflation, it's not like a 25%. This I can assure you, it's not like a 25% tariff results in 25% inflation for the tariffing country. It's not the way that works. Because tariffs usually work to just discourage people from buying that particular product, and they'll find alternatives. So there is some sort, the consumer ends up frequently taking some sort of hit, either and there's a slight increase in the cost or a decrease in quality. That's where it's most commonly affected. Sometimes neither of those are affected, and it's a matter of rooting out alternatives that are equally compatible and similarly priced, or changing your spending habits as a consumer. Could it have an impact? Yeah, if it's across the board in the industry, it's definitely going to have some impact. Let's assume all our avocados come from Mexico. right? This is what I mean by this, okay? I don't know that that's the case. I'm guessing that we got a large percentage of our avocados from Mexico. I haven't researched this. I just happen to like avocados. So, and I remember seeing stickers saying from Mexico frequently. So let's assume now that there's a tariff and avocados go up by 25%. Well, you can expect that that's going to result in fewer people buying avocados, fewer avocados being sold. Or we find some other place to get our avocados from. So if the price of an avocado right now costs, I don't know, here in the Northeast, it costs like $1.25 for an avocado. So it goes up by 25%. You're basically saying that now it's going to cost $1.50 per avocado. Some people, that's going to have an impact. Reduce how many avocados they get. Maybe we end up getting avocados from some other Caribbean country. Maybe some, I don't know. I'm saying, but if that's the only place on the planet you can get avocados, yeah, then in that case, that's where it's going to be most. Let's assume you couldn't grow avocados anywhere else on the globe, I'm saying. Or certainly not anywhere that would be economically viable to ship it into America. Like if you can grow them, if you manage to grow them in Indonesia, by the time they get to the East Coast here, they're going to be no good. I'm just assuming, I'm throwing out hypothetical scenarios here. The point being that if there's no viable alternatives, yeah, that's when you get hit hardest as the consumer, or you basically abandon eating them. But right now, there's an 8% tariff in the EU on American vehicles. I looked up that number this morning. 8% tariff. So if you buy Ford in Germany, you pay 8% more. You know what the result is? There are no American cars in the EU. Can't find them. You can buy it if you want to. It's just not cost effective. Competitors are able to like basically just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So that's how the EU has kept out American cars from competing with their local car industry. So that's 8%. Now the point is, does that mean that now Europeans are paying an extra 8% for their vehicles? No. They're just buying European cars. I'm convinced that North America's economic strength lies in maintaining our trade partnership. This allows us to remain competitive against other economic blocs. For this reason, I believe that dialogue is the best path to understanding peace and prosperity for our nations. I hope our teams can meet soon to continue building joint solutions. This is such a healthy, responsible, measured response from a world leader. I don't know anything about Claudia Sheinbaum. I know nothing about her, but I'll tell you right now, I read this letter and I have great deal of respect. She's obviously going to be Mexico first. That's what her role is to be, and she's going to try and stand up to the United States, recognizing that she's going to need to deal respectfully with the incoming president. I have a great deal of respect for that. I have no idea about her politics. I don't know if she's conservative. I don't know if I'll tell you this much. I don't believe she's a leftist. I read that letter. I'm like, I cannot imagine that she's a leftist. Now I'm very curious. I read that, and that's just like not a letter a leftist would write. I'm curious. Are they? I'll be shocked. If she ends up being like some sort of like woke leftist, it's gonna blow my mind. Interesting. Let's do it this way. Conservative. Oh, she is. They're calling her a lifelong leftist. I'm going to tell you right now, she's a leader. She is a leader. Scientist, a leftist, and a former Mexico City mayor. Who is Claudia Sheinbaum? That makes her more dangerous, I'll tell you this. She's much more of a leader. Claudia Sheinbaum is Mexico's first woman leader in the nation, more than 200 years of independence, captured presidency, and promising continuity. 61-year-old former mayor of City, Mexico City mayor, lifelong leftist, ran a disciplined campaign, capitalized the predecessor's popularity for emerging victorious. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a very well-spoken letter. She's a smart woman. Color me surprised, though. I'm not going to kid you. I'm not going to kid you. Fascinating. Fascinating. I do want to contrast that. I want to contrast that with what happened, with how Trudeau is responding. No. Power comes with responsibility. Responsibility to use it only when necessary. Put more simply, first, do no harm. Oh, I got this one. Matt Skinner says, James Lindsay deciphered woke speak. It's terrifying. His channel is worth listening to. Oh, the guy's just a freaking genius. I agree with you on that. Migration went down as people realized the return of Trump was on the horizon. I think they actually started taking steps to actually slow it down also. James Lindsay brought me answers that I've been confused about for a long time. His YouTube channel, his new discourses, his interview with Jordan Peterson is a watered-down taste of it. Yeah. But I wasn't kidding when I said the guy was like, could be difficult to digest sometimes. Like after 45 minutes, I feel like my brain is tired. There's only one gun store in all of Mexico. Mexico needs us more than we need them. That's true. That's true. She's one of y'all, dear leader. Oh, that just reminded me that you had sent me a whatchamacall before, right? You had sent me something I was supposed to look for. What did you send me before? Go ahead, share that already. All right. Let's look at Canada here. Sorry. A whole bunch of people sent me stuff in the middle of the show. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. Let's just start looking stuff up in the middle of the show. You know, I need to keep the flow going. You need to keep the flow going. I do want to pause and just ask you all while you're here to please make sure you hit like and subscribe. Like the numbers are taking a bath. The numbers are really taking a bath. So hit the freaking like and subscribe. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. It makes me sad otherwise. It really makes me sad. It shouldn't be that hard to hit that button. That applies to Rumble. I'm talking to you, Ghetto. It applies to YouTube. Just hit the button. Just hit it. How Trudeau reacted to Trump's 25% tariffs on Canadian products. As reported by Times of India, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau responded swiftly and diplomatically to then President-elect Donald Trump's proposal of a 25% tariff on all Canadian goods, seeking to mitigate the potential economic fallout and protect Canada's vital trade relationship with the United States. Within hours of Trump's announcement, Trudeau reached out to the incoming U.S. leader at his Mar-a-Lago estate, emphasizing the importance of dialogue. According to Canadian government source, the discussion was described as constructive. I wonder if they said it was constructive. They put it in quotes there. Or is that part of the quotes that he just said it was constructive? Or did he actually say it was, as they say, constructive? with Trudeau highlighting the intertwined nature of trade and security between the two nations, while the Canadian federal government maintained a diplomatic tone. Regional leaders and industry stakeholders expressed alarm at the potential economic fallout. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's engaged in a flurry of phone calls with Trump and Canadian provincial leaders to address the issue. According to New York Times, Trudeau reached out to Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate just 2 hours after the announcement on Truth Social. Two leaders reportedly had a constructive discussion focusing on border security and trade. A Canadian official familiar with the call told the outlets. According to a report of BBC, a Canadian government source described Trudeau's conversation with Trump as, quote, a good discussion, emphasizing the importance of maintaining open communications. Canadian ministers, including Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, focused on reinforcing the critical nature of the trading relationship, blah, blah, blah. The provincial leader of concerns, Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, described the proposed tariff as devastating to jobs and workers in both countries. Called for an urgent meeting of Canada premiers to strategize a unified response. Other provincial leaders, such as those from Quebec, British Columbia, and Alberta, echoed these sentiments, while Alberta Premier Daniela Smith acknowledged U.S. concerns about border security. She also stressed the importance of protecting Canadian jobs and trade. The point is, they're very jittery about this. They're very skittish about this. Industry representatives, such as the head of Canada's Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association, APMA, urged calm but acknowledged the seriousness of the threat. APMA indicated that Canadian businesses had prepared for scenarios involving escalated trade tensions and had strategies in place to navigate them. Canadian officials recognized that the proposed tariff might be part of Trump's negotiating strategy, characterized as escalate to de-escalate, meaning empty threat, I guess. Or maybe they're saying that's like what Kathy Hochul did, where she said, I'm going to raise tolls to like $15. And no, just $9. I'm just going to create a new tax of $15. Okay, $9, because I'm worried about your pocketbook. So I'm giving you a new tax. Analysts speculated the move could be aimed at pressuring Canada and other trade partners to cooperate on border security issues, particularly related to illegal immigration and drug smuggling. What? It could be aimed at them? He specifically said that. He said, if you don't want the tariffs, fix that. They speculated that. Analysts speculated. Fire these stupid analysts. They speculated that it could be aimed and may be aimed at pressuring Canada and other trade partners to cooperate on border issues and on immigration and drugs. He literally said, if you don't fix the border and drug issues, I'm going to hit you with a tariff. What kind of analyst, what was their analysis? That they took third grade reading class? How is that analysis? Reading comprehension is not analysis. Officials, including Trump's border czar Tom Homan, had labeled the northern border as significant security vulnerability, while illegal crossings to Canada-U.S. were far fewer than those in Mexico. There had been a noted increase in such activities. Canadian leaders expressed a willingness to address shared border security concerns, but stressed that economic ties should not be jeopardized. So that's how they're taking it here.
I would say
that's not what I wanted. It's let's see. Here is Prime Minister Trudeau on this matter. Where are you? Damn it. Damn it. Here's Prime Minister Trudeau with his comments about development of his talks with Trump.
I had a good call with Donald Trump last night again. He kept asking me if Fidel Castro was my father. He kept calling me Fidel Jr. He said, Fidel Jr., yo soy tu papa. But I just didn't say anything because if I did, he might place a bigger tariff on my woke ass. So anyway, it was a very good call.
Wait. That wasn't the right one. That was not the right one. Well, that was not the right. Well, all right. I love that comment. I happen to love that clip. I do love that clip. Yeah. What I was gonna say about this is I was actually pretty impressed with the way, as I expressed, I was impressed with the way the Mexican leader handled it, as opposed to you run to him with a phone call and saying, "Don't worry, I'm calling." People around, people in Canada are not inspired by confidence that he actually knows what he's doing. In fact, according to some folks, he might be on his way out soon. This is where Trudeau. This was what Kevin O'Leary was saying about the situation today.
The challenge with the Canadian situation is different than the Mexican. Trudeau is a really unpopular leader, and in the parliamentary system, he'll be getting whacked soon. It's the end game in the parliamentary system is so brutal. Look what happened in England just recently. Yeah. It's about to happen to him. So that Trump will not be negotiating with Trudeau. He'll be dealing with a guy named Pierre Poilievre who will get majority mandate. I think Trump should invite him down to Mar-a-Lago now. I don't know what the protocol and all that is, but he'll be dealing with Pierre. He might as well.
He was much more ideologically aligned with Trump.
Well, here's what Poilievre has already said. I'm going to lift the ban on pipelines. I'm going to kill the carbon tax to be competitive with Texas. And I'm going to open all kinds of investment in Canada. That's Trump's kind of guy. So I know he talked to Trudeau last night, but Trudeau is checking out of Dodge.
Well, from his mouth to God's ear, I'm not as confident as Mr. Wonderful is. I don't know what his sources are that tell him that this is going to happen any day. Justin Trudeau has shown a propensity for being the most slippery fish in the world to try stabbing. He really is. He's a very slippery fish to try stabbing. I hope he's right. I mean, that guy is a woke, crazy communist. There's all sorts of speculation that he's actually the child of Fidel Castro. That hence that joke meme that I shared with you there, where he kept calling me Fidel Jr. And I've covered that here on this show. I don't want to. I mentioned earlier in this show that when the wilder the claim, the more I demand verifiable proof before I propagate it here on my channel. I will say this. I read a whole lengthy expose about this claim that he's not like Fidel Castro's son, claims that he actually is Fidel Castro's son. And here are pictures of his father, Pierre, and his mother in Cuba, cavorting around for weeks on end when people are saying that his parents had an open relationship. And then you look at certain pictures of Fidel Castro without all the scraggly beard stuff as a young man. And no one can deny the fact that facially, there's very little resemblance between Justin and Pierre Trudeau. There's very little resemblance between them. I don't really love going down this, because even if he is the son of Fidel, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, really, I guess. I guess, because if his ideologies are the same as Fidel or different from Fidel's, his biology wouldn't really matter, right? I mean, it's his ideologies are what matters, which is another reason that I never really went down this whole thing. It is one of the claims that I've seen way more evidence in support of it. Do you guys want me to pull up like different pictures of Justin and Fidel to just yeah, is I'm not feeling. I'm seeing a mixture. It's like, if it's true or it's not true, does it really matter? Does it really matter? I'm not going to spend a long time on it. Under 3 minutes. This is Pierre Trudeau. And you can see him. There seems to be very little resemblance there. Now, a lot of people you might say he looks more like his mother or whatever. Here's Fidel Castro, young. All right. And there's all these different pictures of them just cavorting around together. That's Fidel holding holding Justin. So this is why there's this rampant speculation. And at the end of the day, like I said, Snopes, I'm sure, is going to say no. I'm simply, at the end of the day, does it really matter? Does it matter? And the answer to me is no, it doesn't really matter. Is he a bastard child? Maybe. I don't know. Does it matter if he is? All that matters is his ideology as it relates to Canadians. If he was Fidel Castro's son, bastard child, and he had, MAGA type of ideologies, no one would have a problem with him, right? So, yeah. So it's sort of thing that I say, like, I think it may be true, but it doesn't really affect me. So like that's why I'm like, I don't know. It's just more funny than anything else, I guess. Anyhow, we mentioned Paul Poilievre, who Mr. Wonderful is hoping is going to take over for Justin Trudeau very soon. This is Paul Poilievre. The guy is awesome. I wish this guy was an American.
On security. About a week ago, Justin Trudeau admitted that he broke our immigration system, and that brings new challenges. His own published documents show there are 4.9 million people here temporarily that are supposed to leave by December 31st of next year, 13 months from now. 4.9 million people. We asked what the plan was to track their departures, and yesterday his immigration minister said, we're just going to take people at their word. He admits that there have been 2 ISIS terrorists allowed into our country. What is the plan to protect our security and reinstate sovereignty over who is in our country? On security.
Sounds like the kind of politician we all wish we had here, right? Right? I don't know. That's where I'm at. All right. Matt Skinner says, until Canada accepts U.S. workers, we should shut up Canadian access to U.S. jobs. They don't accept U.S. workers? And by the way, 4.9 million in Canada, their whole population is like 30 million. So, 5 million people there is like 1/6 of their population. They have a very small, they have very small population. I'm remembering it being 30 million, maybe 35 million. What is Canada's population? Oh, it's up to 41 million. Okay. So 5 million is like basically 1/8 of the country. So 5 million to them is, so 5 million in Canada is pretty much here would be like an influx of 40 million illegal aliens. Like 1/8 of because it's 330, there were 330 million Americans. So it'd be like more than 40 million. 5 million illegal aliens in Canada is like 40 million illegal aliens here. And the plan to get rid of them is, I hope they leave. What is that? What is that? What is that? Can you imagine 40 million illegal aliens and the plan to get rid of them is, I'm taking them at their word. They said they're leaving. Well, you're not leaving? You're not leaving. You said you would. You said you would. It's crazy. Canada has lost like Europe. They all started smelling their own farts. Yes. Yeah, it's true. Send a Kamala meme after seeing the star of the show. Did you? Did you? Because I didn't see that. I'm questioning the legitimacy of that. That's pretty funny. That's a pretty good job. That's a pretty good job. Thank you, brother. Mexico is mad? Apparently they're mad. Apparently they're mad. But like I said, I can respect the response. Even though I probably would, the more I learn about her politics, the more I probably would dislike her. I can respect her leadership ability. That's a measured response. That's how you respond. So U.S. has some leverage. Finally, we've had it the whole time. Yeah. Well, shut it all down until we get our house in order. See, like I said, I don't believe, I was explaining this yesterday, the healthy line between isolationism and globalization. The healthy line is we only care about ourselves first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. That's it. Part of that is that we're expecting you to care about yourselves, and we need to, and that it benefits you and your society and us and our society if we can have healthy diplomatic relationships, healthy trade with each other. It's good for your people, it's good for our people. But not that like one of us is going to be a leech on the other one. So, yeah. Polya is the Canadian Trump. He is. He is phenomenal. I did a whole thing where he's eating that apple. Oh my God. And just destroying a reporter while eating an apple. Just it was almost like that the reporter's brain was just turned into the apple and he's just devouring it. So what do you mean take a page? I don't understand what that means. You're saying I took a page out of Trump's playbook. What does that mean? Well, you know that you're using like, you know, very strong language. What do you mean by strong language? Well, you know what I mean. No, I don't know what you mean. You use the word to tell me what you mean, and I'll try to answer the question. Phenomenal. I'm concerned if they ever get in office again, they'll start jailing us all for supporting Trump. They may. You can't worry about that. And they will get in office one day. Hit thumbs up for an opportunity followed by Dear Leader. It's done and done. Done and done. Done and done. Is it really? You know, he's been dropping the tenors. He's been dropping the tenors on me to try and like get me to follow folk. Let me see how we're at there. Look at that. 10 and 10. Good job. Good job. They're trying to jail Dan Penny right now, and he saved people. Yeah, he had the crime of being white, though, so you can't be white while you save people. If we're trying to save democracy, shouldn't we start with America's hat? America's hat? America first, I mean? You would think so. Bella hitting with another 10. 10 good Lawgic memberships. God bless you, Bella. Who'd you bring on in here to us? Who owes you gratitude? Who owes you that debt? Let me just scroll on down. Scroll on down to the other side. Scroll down to the other side. Scroll. Following people give the memberships courtesy of Queen of Recruitment, Bella Stella, Chadwick Myers, Blix, William Nelson, Emily Hart, Michael David, Just Me Sunshine, Julius Vizzy, Bake for Life, Zandy, and Liz Bots, all of them brought in courtesy of Queen of Recruitment, Bella Stella. Please bear in mind that the following is not about like worshiping some sort of horned Satan type of thing, like a cult. It's not at all a cult type of cult. It's just about community, unity, leadership training for greater personal growth, so we can find peace. No one is trying to convince you to follow after anything here. No, that's not the agenda here. No one's trying to like, there's no Svengali type of thing happening here where they're saying, where there's anyone who's trying to tell you, follow us. That's not happening here because it's not at all a cult type of cult. So Maggie was what? Oh, Maggie Trudeau. I don't know. I don't know that to be true. With all of this, what we see here is, with everything happening here, I started this show by sharing with you thoughts as to like how the left was falling apart and all the different issues they were having here. And they were just very, very bothered, very, very upset by everything that's going on. Covered that in the beginning. I opened the show with that, for crying out loud. I opened the show with it. And you might think that they would be happy. You might think that they would all be happy. The reason you would think they should be happy now is yesterday we were talking about how all the indictments pretty much vanished, pretty much gone. Criminal charges, 0 for 4, 91 charges, going up in smoke. Here's why you would think that the left would be really, really thrilled about this. They should be thrilled by it. You want to know why you would think that the left should be thrilled by it? Because when these indictments first started coming down, the left was telling us that Trump being charged was sad. That was sad. So removal of that should be good. This is them all saying how sad it is for Trump to be indicted.
It's a sad day for America. Hard stop.
This is no time for celebration. I think it's sad.
I have fought Trump for a long time, but I'm sad that this has happened.
How are you?
You're feeling about a historic day. It's sad.
And this is a day of profound sadness that an ex-president.
I'm so glad this sadness is now relieved from them. They're no longer sad. This is like a great thing that all these charges against Trump are gone. They should be, I'm sure they're sky high happy now.
Is indicted, but it's also a time to celebrate.
Because it's a sad moment to see a former president have to do this, even though we feel it could lead to justice.
If you don't see this as a sad day for America.
It's a sad day for America.
It's a sad day. Well, I don't think anybody can consider it a good day.
Regardless of anything, it's just really sad.
It's a sadness, I think, that we got to this point.
I just want to remain measured.
The left
full of somber support.
I think really this should be a somber moment. It is a serious, somber, solemn moment.
It's obviously a somber moment, and it's a sad moment.
Well, it's really a sad day when we get to this point.
Incredibly sad day for our country. It is a serious night and a somber moment for our country.
That this is a really sad moment and a perilous moment.
I mean, I think it is a sad day. It is a sad chapter.
Well, fortunately, all that sadness is gone. All that sadness is gone because all those charges are gone now. All that sadness is gone. Well, despite that, apparently they're in disarray. They're not sure what's going on here. They don't understand how they lost power. They don't understand what's happening here. They don't understand how to fix it. They're stumbling around, as Jesse Waters reported.
But Biden's still getting most of the blame. Not for destroying the country and putting the Democrats on a path to disaster. No, they just think he should have dropped out sooner. Biden not taking any blame at all. He's acting like he won. The lame ducks letting Ukraine fire our missiles into Russia. Scranton Joe's even lost Michael Moore. Quote, seriously, this is your legacy? This is how you want to go out in a blaze of horror? Like if Joe's got to go, we all got to go with him right into World War III? We're hearing rumblings in Democrat circles that it's gotten so bad that Bernie Sanders is thinking about officially leaving and starting a third party. James.
I thought he was an independent. I thought he was technically an independent.
Carville says Democrats are living in the dark.
This is great. James Carville, a noted Democrat strategist for the last 4 decades. This is a voice which, I mean, look, he looks, you know, he looks like he's been around since Moses was in short pants. And listen to his, he's been promoting the DNC forever. I mean, he used to fight with Ann Coulter all the time, Rush Limbaugh. This guy, he's been sitting on the left forever.
In my opinion, everybody else is living in the dark. So when you live in the dark, what do? You try to turn the light on. I mean, turn on the flashlight. Let's see where because we just stumbling around, hitting walls, you know, tripping over furniture. And let's see how we get there. I don't know anybody that really knows this. People will call me and say, do this or do that. But I'm trying to find the light switch here, dude. And I can't, the wall is blank right now, but we are fooling around in the dark here. That I know.
Oh my God. So when you're stuck in the dark and you have no answers, as to like, what are we going to do here to regain power back? What's our next direction? We don't even know where to go now. We have no idea what direction to go in right now. We don't know why we lost. We don't know what happened here. We don't understand anything about this. What do we thrive on? Oh, I know. We thrive on fear porn and crises. So what crises do we have? Well, I guess we can start World War III, but that doesn't really sound like a really great idea to, people who are not being paid off by the military industrial complex. Well, what's the next crisis that we can do? Well, we don't have any real freaking crisis. Well, I know what we can do. We'll just regurgitate the old ones, even the ones that people have long since forgotten about. Remember that guy out there, John Kerry? Remember him? Isn't he still around?
So I think personally we're on the brink of needing to declare a climate emergency.
A climate emergency! That's what we need! It's a freaking climate emergency! Yes, it's been debunked. Yes, it's been basically scientifically proven that no matter how much carbon we throw in there, it's in the carbon dioxide we throw into the atmosphere, it's already super saturated. It's not going to do anything more. Yes, it's been proven that there's absolutely no logical sense at all as to why it would help the planet whatsoever if the Western world would be sacrificing upon itself that it's going to avoid creating a greater carbon footprint and instead farm all that carbon footprint doing out to China, that the only thing that can possibly do is, I don't know, maybe make a really gross imbalance in the Eastern Hemisphere of this planet, which, as far as I remember, we're still part of the same planet China is on. So whatever affects them, it's gonna make its way here. You're not saving you're not solving the problem. All you're doing is making us broke. But let's bring on out here, jet setting, flying all around the planet because he's so worried about his carbon footprint, John Kerry, to tell us all about the dangers of climate change. The dangers of climate change. You gotta stop burning fuel out there. I'm gonna go flying here, and flying there, and flying there, and just leaving my carbon dioxide fart all over this country. My plane's carbon dioxide farting is going to be all over this country, telling everyone about how dangerous your carbon dioxide is. Tell us, Johnny.
Which is what we really have. And we need to get people to behave as if this really is a major transitional challenge to the whole planet, to everybody. People in Africa don't have electricity, need to choose the right kinds of electricity.
See. The only thing we're going to give you are those wind turbines, which create more of a carbon footprint in building them and maintaining them than actually any energy they can produce, or the solar panels, which create the same problem, that have a net negative on the carbon footprint. All right,
and we need to help them be able to afford it and do it. We are the largest economy in the world, $24 trillion or $23 trillion economy, maybe more by now. The next closest is China at about 18 trillion. And the next closest to the two of us, Germany and Japan at 4 trillion. That's how far it drops down. You don't think we have some sort of obligation out of that to be responsible? I think you do. But
I think you do. And I'm going to fly all over the country and tell everyone that I think you do.
I'm just saying, but our country needs to talk about this, and we need to make it happen because we're paying huge sums of money to make up the difference.
So that's where if you're wondering where they're going next, that's where they're going next. Just dig up that corpse of climate change being the hazard we all got, the one we love going back to. That's the hazard you all got to worry about here. Climate change. Let's resurrect the climate change hoax. Oh, Canada's America's hat and Mexico's our beard. Got it. Now I understand. They were trying to say the shouldn't we start America's hat? You're saying. Now I got it. All right. I never heard that analogy before. Every winter, due to Canada's socialized medicine, hordes of Canucks like locusts descend on Florida medical centers and gum up the works. Really? Huh. Why during the winter? Oh, I guess because summer vacation. Yeah, I'm not surprised. If we annex Canada, it'd be much easier. Wait, so is that how Viva Frei ended up in Florida? Is that what it was? Was that he just ended up going down there and never leaving? If we annex Canada, it'll be much easier to get Iceland because we're buying that too. We can trade the Dane Starling Cybertrucks for it. These are plans. Matt Skinner hit me with another 10. Captain of recruitment here. Matt Skinner, bring on in 10 new folks here. Who'd you bring to us here? Who'd you bring to me? Who's in the following? We need to know. The people got to know. If you're already a member of the following, I'm going to call out your name. You should express your gratitude to Matt Skinner for bringing you into the following. If you're already a member of the following, I think it'd be appropriate to say, hey, welcome. I'm about to call the name Bria, B-R-I-A. You could say, hi, Bria, welcome to the following. Hi, Bob Gable. Welcome to the following, as well as Not Cupcakes, S. Schultz, Rebecca Koha. Koha. You say Koha, I say Koja. Because I'm American. American. Alan Bomel, Kindness and Grace, Crocky Poo, Ureli Plans. All these people gifted into the membership, into the following, as well as Julie Jensen. Welcome to the following, you fine people, and thank you, Captain Recruitment Matt Skinner, for bringing in all these fine folks here. The following, which is not, it's not the type of place that you're going to regret being brought into, because all this can do, I mean, look, studies conducted by me show that people who join the following see a 13% increase in their overall happiness levels from the happiness levels they would have if they were not members of the following. So I want to express my gratitude for sharing that joy. Thank you, Matt, for bringing him on in here. 13% happier. You can't deny those type of numbers. Using Daniel Penny as an example, can you talk a bit about jury nullification, what it means and how it works? Has it ever happened? Of course, it's happened. You wouldn't know it if it happens, though. You wouldn't know if it happens. I don't know why. Nazar had Mexico is our sexy undies. Yeah. All right. Mexico being a sexy undies. Okay. Jury nullification basically is a situation where the jury the jury's role in general is they're supposed to assess what facts happen, and based on what their facts they assess to have happened, then take the law and apply the law to them facts that they assess to happen. So the judge tells them what the law is. Now you take these facts and attach them to the law as explained to you by the judge, and then come out with your verdict. So the judge walks you through different elements, right? Walks you through different elements. Well, one of the type of cases we'll talk about, let's say in a civil context, would be like defamation. Okay? So you need to show that there was a statement, it was published, it was untrue, that it was derogatory, and that, you know, there were damages that resulted therefrom. If the plaintiff is a public figure, you need to show that there was actual malice. You know, they knew it was false. And a judge would explain to you each of those different elements I just laid out, that there was a statement. This could qualify as a statement. And this is what a publication means. It could be spoken, it could be oral, whatever. And that and truth means that, and there might be different legal boundaries as to what's considered untrue versus being considered true. Derogatory, and explains to them what derogatory means. And the jury sits in there and they're like, look, we really, really hate this plaintiff. This guy's an a-hole. We really like the defendant. So even though we're sitting here and we think all these elements were met, we think that this plaintiff was really, really harmed, we don't want to give him an award. We don't want to fine for him. Or the opposite. We don't think this person was defamed. We think that maybe the statements about him were true, but the defendant's an a-hole. We can't stand this defendant. So even though the statement the defendant made was true, we're still going to hit him with the defamation fee of $10 million because we just don't like him. That is nullification. You're nullifying what you know the law to be based on your findings of fact, and you're basically saying this is how we're finding. The reason you wouldn't know that jury nullification is happening is because no one knows what's being said in those deliberations. So they would basically say, this is what we found the facts to be, which now they would lie about what the facts are, what their findings of fact are. So has jury nullification happened? Almost. Oh, definitely. It's something that litigators are not supposed to mention because the idea of jury nullification, the concern is that by expressing jury nullification, even using the phrase and thinking they'll Google it, it is more likely to encourage a juror to consider that option. And that would have them considering to ignore what the law is It makes it more difficult for us to implement law as written by our legislatures. So, but jury nullification is basically seeing what the law is and saying, I don't care. I don't care what the law says. I want to find for this person, or I want to find against that person. So in a criminal context over here, so let's say you have, negligent homicide, and that it's a leading cause, a factor to the death of the victim here. And Daniel Penny, was he a causal factor? And maybe he did. So maybe let's say they're very pro Penny. Let's assume they'll be like, well, he was a significant factor, and if not for him, the guy would still be alive. And perhaps there was a little bit of recklessness here, but he's a good guy who was trying to help out people. And I don't want to see him go to jail for that. So that would be the type of nullification, if such things were to happen in this case, that would be the type of nullification we would expect to see here. It's like, I do think he was the causal factor here in leading to this guy's death. But he was being a good guy, and I'm not going to put him in jail. So I don't care what the law says I'm supposed to put him in jail. I'm not gonna. That's what it would mean in this particular context. Normally, they don't even use the term. They just a jury may not be familiar with the term nullification. They just would do it. They'd just be like, all right, I'm not convicting this guy. You can do what you want. I'm not convicting this guy. They don't have to know the term jury nullification to engage in jury nullification. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. Canada's our hat. Mexico, we got this. Can you say Cyrilla Berndt name out loud? She needs to feel our dear leader's love. I'll talk to her later about that after the drinks. Cyrilla Berndt. Is it Berndt? Did I pronounce it properly? Did I say it right, Cyrilla? I don't want her to feel like, I don't want anyone to feel isolated. That make me feel bad. Did I say it right, Cyrilla? Well, I hope I did. And there you go. Mission accomplished. We did hit our goal, which means I'm going to have to hit up 5 people here. 5 people that I have to follow here on X. I had gotten myself under 1,000. I try staying under 1,000. I had gotten myself under 1,000. All right, let's see who we got here. I also have some more videos I'll share with you because I had some really funny stuff here. Some really funny stuff I wanted to share with you. This one was like, this is like such a self-own here. I actually found there's a common phrase, if you're unfamiliar with this, by the way, there's an old phrase which says the left cannot meme. The left can't meme. They just can't meme. They can't. And I'm going to tell you something. I actually found what is a genuinely funny, not like hilarious, but definitely funny meme from the left against the right. This is easily the funniest meme I've ever seen the left do. So I tip my cap to their ability to actually wow, this is actually like kind of a funny meme. Knocking MAGA specifically. And what I realized is the reason it's funny is because it is the most frigging racist thing in the world. It is so racist. It is such an own on themselves. It is the most racist meme I've seen in a long time. This is, here you go, MAGA. All the jobs you wanted back.
Hello, it's your favorite president. Now that I made all our deportation dreams come true, We reclaimed every single job that was taken by illegal immigrants. And let me tell you, folks, there were so many. I call them brown jobs. Jobs we were born to do and do what Americans do best.
I carry this old guy to the bathroom about 3 times a day. I gotta go.
And now America can get back to work like it's never done before.
I used to stay home and watch Real Housewives, but now I got to work 3 shifts in a row.
That's a nice little job. Okay, you know, you're picturing the. I used to watch Real Housewives. That was a cute little job, but it's basically, this whole thing is basically saying the jobs that the reason why we love illegal aliens and we should want them here is because that's all they're good for. That's what this whole meme is.
I hate other people's children and their poop.
So let's get busy, America. Go do all those brown jobs you wanted so much.
Let's go, ladies. Those beds won't change themselves.
Uno, dos, tres.
And show the rest of the world what we are made of. Look at me. I'm doing a brown job too, but just for 10 minutes.
It's the most racist thing in the world. Unbelievable. It is the most rape. I didn't say it. Race. Yeah, that's what it is. It's just racism. That's racist. That's racist. Anyhow, what else do I have for you here? I had a couple more. I lost my order here. All right. I need to find something on X. So just give me a minute here while I'm looking for this. If you're looking for me to add you up on X, I'm starting in the live chat at goodlogic.locals.com. I'm starting there. goodlogic.locals.com. So if you're looking for it, that's fine. If you're looking for me to add you, I'm going to start there. I'm also going to get one ghetto person. So maybe people in the ghetto can put together who, like, I should, at least one ghetto person. At least one ghetto. I want to get at least one ghetto because the ghetto, they don't get enough love. They're always abandoned. TX47 says Canada is America's hat. Appreciate that, text 47. Yeah, so put together like a candidate there that you think this is the best one. Maybe someone will pin it. Maybe pin like the name of the best one. That's a good thing because they're pinning messages for me in there all the time. But just, I need a moment for you. So now we're going to have a word from our sponsor. All right. All right. I also should go into Blue Sky, right? I should drop some posts in there. People are telling me who I should follow on Blue Sky. Blue Sky. Blue Sky. What the heck? Oh man. I heard black people don't know about IDs early. Of course they don't. I mean, obviously. So there's no scenario where the jury can say the law is broken, but there should be no punishment. No, that's what jury nullification would be. That would be jury nullification. Do I have names? Do we have names? Do we have names? That's technically accurate. It's not true at all. That's not true. Has this been approved by the ghetto? Is this ghetto approved? I'm looking to my mods. Is this ghetto approved? C in red 04. In positive news, don't have to buy presents for the most insufferable my family this year, or listen to ungenuine about hexadecimal people. What the hell are hexadecimal people? Don't follow people on joke counts. Follow your followers where we can plan taking over the world. All right. All right. It's your point. Do you know how hard it is to add mods on there? I have 2 mods. Okay. All right. First one I saw was C in red 04. That's the one that I heard first. C in red 04. So I'm going to look for that one. Let's see if we can find that one. Let's see what we got here. All right. All right. All right. Not very busy. That's a good thing. Done. Aren't you a mod? Aren't you a freaking mod, Jacob? All right. Let me check over back in the Diggers. You got someone for me, Diggers? Am I following fans? Am I following fans? I think I'm following fans. I may not be. Let me see if I'm following fans. That's Allegan News. All right, we'll give Allegan News a follow. I just gave Allegan News a follow. There we go. What else we got? He's not a mod. Jacob's not at all a mod. Kind of mod. All right, look, if no one else wants it, I'm not going to force it on you. I need to see an at. Let's go is mod and name only. Judge Maddie? Let's see. Yeah, Judge Maddie. What? 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 Did you see that picture? What? Yoda knows 3. All right. So let's see what you got coming from me here. Your last, that was pin quote. You were tweeting in the middle of my show. In the middle of my show, you're too busy. You're tweeting out there. Really? Oh, you're not watching the show. You're just too busy tweeting. No, he's up there. Please shoot him for pursuit. I don't know. All right. I need to follow. I have a thought here. Scroll down here. Following him. Okay. I'm following Tim. I follow Master Phillips. I should follow Master Phillips. It's King Recruitment. Does he have... What's his... That's... I don't see anything for him. He's not on X. Dude, that's not advice I'm going to take. I expect to be in DC on January 20th. He's not on X. He's not on X. All right. Entropy nomad. Let's see what we got here. Entropy. Not going to kid you. I don't really recognize the name Entropy Nomad. I think I might have seen you a couple of times. I don't remember seeing this picture at all. This picture is one that would stick out to me. I haven't looked yet. I'm about to go look. The more I know you, the less it has have to be like induced. I'll be like, okay, that's just a person I know. So it's like almost like a friend type of thing. If I don't know you, seen you around the name Entropy Nomad? I don't know. Did you have a different name before? I seem unhappy unless they go to war. I need to be impressed here now. Show more. What? What? You don't have no... You got nothing? There's no... What? I see one. What are you, a replier? This is a very, very... You're a hell of a liker. He's a ghetto regular. All right. Jacob's vouching for you. Fine. How many did I hit so far? I know it was at least 3. Was that 3 or 4? Joe EV816. Joe V816. All right. That's a name I recognize. This is all right. This is something that believe it or not, one of the women in this picture is trans. Can't tell. Okay, this is a follow. I can definitely get. Literally impossible to tell. It's literally. Literally impossible to tell. There's no way to know. There's no way. If you tell me you know and you happen to get it right, I'll know you were just guessing because it's impossible. That's a follow right there. Oh my god, that was funny. I think I'm gonna like Joe V. That's gonna be good. That was a good. That was a very good follow. That was a really good follow. All right. What else you got for me? I'll do one more because that was really solid. I've literally never heard of you before. Never, ever in my life. Never. No, I have no idea who you are. No offense. I just don't know who you are. Like, never. You literally showed up here. Literally showed up here. Where are my likes at? My likes better be over 50%. Where are my likes? That was a great pick. We're just picking names out of a chat. Oh, we're doing well on the likes. All right, good job, guys. One last one. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to check this out. See? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Make fun replies, rarely post. All right, I'll check your replies. Donkey, doggy. Let's see what we got. That's not bad. All right. That's not bad. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. You're going to have to keep my urn. You're going to have to keep me there. You have to keep me on. John Mansell says, don't know if it was ever clarified. I believe the Blue Sky name suggestion Digger Jim the other day was a Tom Sawyer reference. Oh, Digger Jim. Got it. I should have. That's pretty. If that was the suggestion, that's actually pretty clever. That's actually pretty clever. All right. I haven't checked up on Blue Sky since I signed up on it. I haven't even looked in there. I'm looking at my notifications. Who is Joe? So I open a Blue Sky account on the name Woke Joe because I need to basically, make sure I'm following the educated people, not you cretins. But the folks who like really matter in this world, they're important people because they tell me that they are, and I don't have enough people that I'm following. Someone took the name Good Logic. Really? There's now a good. You bastards! You bastards! Oh my God! You bastards! All right. Well. I'll get over it, I think. This is taking Karen back because how many followers do I have? Oh, 14 followers. Look at that. Oh, someone said taking Karen back. They must have been watching me do that. All right. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna poke around here. That was my suggestion. I didn't get it. I did not get the whole Digger Jim thing. No, it went right over my head. I'm glad someone pointed it out to me. If you would have said Tom Sawyer, I would have understood. Especially since I come in there, I often start my show with "What up, my diggers? What up, my diggers?" Oh, so someone told me, who was it? I think Sandy told me I need to follow Mueller, She Wrote. What? That was like an account I need to. Yeah, there you go. Definitely I'll follow Mueller, She Wrote. No. Big announcement coming tomorrow. I'm excited. I need a picture. Has anyone made a picture for me yet that I could put on this profile? I said I really need a picture of a woke person with little kids and animals in front of like a rainbow flag, preferably somewhere throwing a Ukraine flag in there too. Can I get a GIF in there? I amused the hell out of myself. La 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 la. All right. I think I went through most of my stuff here. This is the last one, and I know this is I think the last thing I know. Actually, I had 2 or 3 left. All right, let me go through. I'll come back. I amused the heck out of myself on Blue Sky. All right. Should I do this? Am I gonna get hit? Am I gonna get hit? I'm definitely gonna get hit. I'm not in the mood to get hit. All right. This is random funny. This is a random thing that I thought was funny.
Avant que je puisse réagir, j'étais embarqué dans un camion de livraison et voilà comment j'ai atterri ici.
Ah, c'est incroyable, hein.
Hein, t'entends ça, chérie?
Oui, c'est fou.
Not bad. Oh, that was cute. Well, that was cute. You definitely don't see where it's going. You definitely don't see where it's going. Anyway, I think I'm going to close with this one. We're going to close with this. Should we do this? Do that. Okay. Close with this one. This is why we should all be excited. Hold on a second. Someone's hitting me up there. No, that's not good enough. Drop Barracuda. We could do better. I look to no. You see this one he gave me here. This no. You see that's a woke catfish. No, definitely no. Can't look anything near that cool. No. I'm thinking unintentionally creepy. That was from Drop Barracuda. Same thing for the first one. No, unintentionally creepy. Maybe this will inspire you. This is my last clip of the night, so I'm going to tell you all now. Oh my God, I almost forgot. No, there was one thing I had to share with you. This is my second to last video. Second one. The next one I have is actually a very important message. Very important message. I can't even believe I almost forgot. Someone share with me. All right, this is my second to last one. This was shared by Libs TikTok saying, I can't wait. January 20th cannot come sooner.
Is the U.S. military too woke? No, not at all. So
this is a famous, traitorous, my subjective opinion. It's not a statement of fact. My subjective opinion is that this guy is a traitor who should be thrown in prison for breaching his duty to serve under Trump. And here is this jackass being asked whether the U.S. military is too woke.
is the U.S. military too woke? No, not at all. I'm not even sure what that word truly means, but I would tell you that the military I see is a military that's exceptionally strong, it's powerful, it's ready.
U.S. Navy is approaching a drag queen influencer to help persuade new recruits into joining the military, the Navy's new digital ambassador.
The new digital ambassador.
Their attempts to increase interest among young people amongst a historic recruitment crisis.
I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
It's a good match for a job does not feel safe being themselves and performing at their highest potential at a given location. I am compelled to consider a different candidate and perhaps less qualified.
All too often, I hear leaders talk about providing everyone with dignity and respect like it's an aspirational goal.
Like it's an aspirational goal.
That's not good enough. We must set our sights higher and focus on intentional inclusivity, because there are still far too many people out there, not just LGBTQ individuals, that feel marginalized, shut out, or discriminated against. Initiate difficult conversations about racial and gender barriers, and share a bit of your vulnerability in a way that draws others in.
Hi, I'm Major Rachel Jones, and what Pride means to me is celebrating that diversity is our strength as a nation and as an army.
Proud to have ended the ban on transgender Americans.
Let's declare it a summer of pride.
I'm not even sure what that word truly means, but
There you go. Libs of TikTok. Dropping it like it's hot. And speaking of dropping it like it's hot. Matt Skinner. Coming in with another 10. Another 10. Good Logic memberships. Who'd you bring in here? Who'd you bring to me? I do have one more 5-minute video I need to share with you all before I get out of here. If you're wondering, it's about a topic that's a regular topic on my show here. It's a topic that's a regular topic on my show. It's basically propaganda by legacy media for something that you should never, ever, that's meant for they, them. It's not meant for you. Propaganda. I need to expose this propaganda because some of you might have been subjected to this propaganda. I got to make sure And none of you fall for this propaganda because it's meant for they, them. It's not meant for you. It's not meant for you. It's only because I was about to show you a video on they, them that I remembered, oh my God. Oh my gosh. And then I was going to like close out the show and I was like, oh my God. It's meant for they, them. It's not meant for you. Before I get to that, let's see who we brought on in here. Who'd you bring on in here? So, brought to you courtesy of, brought into the following 10 people brought in courtesy of Matt Skinner, Bud Cafe, Chuck Morris, Audie Joe, Graham Phineas, and Fife. Time for change. Because it's time for change. You got to rearrange. Goose Tots, Captain Zap Brannigan, McRae H, Jeffrey Winfrey, Semper Fi Gert. All of them brought in to the following courtesy of Captain Matt Skinner. God bless you, Captain Matt. He also dropped me a little comment here. Would you drop me here? Let me give you one of these. Where am I at here? Love you, Joe, but I love the followers more. You really do, apparently. God bless you. I saw your pics. They're not like. I think you know what I'm talking about. I want it to be that a normal person will look at that picture and feel unsettled, like about the notion of that guy being around children. That's and animals. That guy being around children and animals. Yeah. The Master Phillips, King of Recruitment, Master Phillips, also bringing in 10 members to the following, brought in courtesy of King of Recruitment, Master Phillips. Who'd you bring to us? Oh, we got hit by the King and Queen today. Sebnem Bozkaya. Sebnem Bozkaya, Marvin Gemin, Ebola, Patricia Galuli, Rebecca Hans. All you should be expressing your gratitude to Master Phillips, King Recruitment, for bringing you into the greatest following that basically ever was, that people ever followed. That also includes Loch Ness Monster, Giraffe 3, Baby Lover. There's a mosquito in here. How's that possible? It's freaking almost Thanksgiving. How's there a mosquito? PJ, maybe it's just giraffe with the 3 instead of the E. We're just gonna go with Giraffe Baby Lover. I think you might want to just suggest, just I'm not critiquing Giraffe. I'm not critiquing at all. I'm just saying the structuring of the name there. Welcome aboard, Giraffe Baby Lover. PJ the Hobbit, Jules Pellico, Sandy Q, and that was it. We got it. We got them all. I got them all. All of you, welcome to the following. Please express your gratitude to King Recruitment, Master Phillips. Oh my gosh. That was almost bad. At least they didn't sink a ship yet. Yeah, that's true. Yet. Yeah. Okay. It's not just me, right? Who thought that, right? There's something about the phrase in there which just feels uncomfortable. All right. I need to find this This was shared with me. Who was it? He's dead, Jim. Shared this with me. It's a very important report. It's a very important report. It's propaganda. When you're watching this, don't think for a second that this is anything other than something that's intended for they, them. It's not meant for you. I can't stress this enough.
Lab-grown meat has arrived in this country.
Would you ever eat lab-grown meat?
Lab-grown meat? What's that?
Satanic.
I thought this was meat. Or this.
That's poultry.
Or this. But no, I'm wrong to assume that. Meat is now being grown in labs. To make it, they use a syringe to pull tissue out of an animal.
The tissue. No, we just went through a whole video about the feces. We saw the feces. This may be one way of making it, but we saw the video about the feces.
It's cut into minuscule pieces to separate the muscle fibers and cells. The cells start dividing. When all these little pieces of muscle are layered together, we get exactly the same thing we started with: beef.
But is it safe? Well, U.S. regulators have approved it.
2 cultivated meat producers now getting the green light to begin commercially selling their chicken.
Take your fake lab-grown meat elsewhere. We're not
doing
that in the state of Florida.
Florida and Alabama quickly outlawed lab-grown meat.
And we appreciate that ban.
Bill Bullard lobbies for cattlemen.
It's a recognition of the importance of...
I just want to be clear. This guy here, Bill Bullard, it's not like he's a friend of ours. He's just someone who's looking out for his own industry here. So it's not like, I understand he looks like your classic Trump voter, and that's all well and good. I can respect that. And this guy is also, he's a capitalist. And he's like, lab meat's not good for us. You should tell him about the feces.
Observing the family farm structure of agriculture in the United States. And if it weren't for Alabama and Florida doing it, then the meat packers would have the ability to pass it off to unsuspecting consumers as if it were indeed a meat product, which it is not.
They don't conceal it. They say this is cultivated meat.
It is, but they haven't told the public exactly what's in it.
They pull it out of the animal and grow it in the lab. It's still the same source,
but not produced in the same manner.
How do you grow meat in the lab?
Some activists oppose it too, making videos like this.
You use something called immortalized cells, meaning they grow like a tumor. Want to taste it?
I think I'll pass.
Now lobbyists...
All right, so the commercials against lab meat are cringe. I grant you.
Persuading politicians in other states to ban lab-grown meat.
Lab-grown meat has no place in Nebraska. That's according to Governor Pillen.
But wait, why do politicians get to decide for everyone?
What is? How did this guy make a career asking like rhetorical questions into the camera, and this guy is the weirdest job in the world. It's not journalism. I don't know what this guy's job is. What's his name? You all know his name. I don't know his name. I think it's Peter. I don't know. Something like that. Or John. It's Peter or John. It's one of the disciples is definitely his name. Don't tell me I'm wrong on that. It's definitely one of the disciple names. Yeah. But what he does is Stossel. That was his name. He has such a weird job. It's like he just basically is supposed to ask questions in a really unusual way. And then I'm going to show you a clip to answer that question. It's such a weird job.
I got a producer of lab-grown chicken to let me try some. Their employees sauteed it, and I tried it.
This is what Florida banned, and we view it as this is 99% chicken.
Melissa Musiker works for Upside Foods, one of 2 companies producing lab-grown chicken. Upside sued Florida over its ban.
One of these is chicken, and another is lab-grown chicken.
I offered people a taste of what Florida's agriculture commissioner calls frankenmeat versus chicken we bought at Whole Foods.
They're both.
I know he tends to be conservative. I know. Everyone here is a big John Stossel fan. Everyone's loving John Stossel. John Stossel. Maybe it's Luke Stossel. Judah Stossel. Southern Kingston.
Both really good. I think that one's lab grown.
Bingo. People correctly guessed which was which.
That's the real one, and that's the lab grown.
This one was juicier. I assume this is the lab grown one.
It was. People like the lab-grown chicken.
That's much juicier.
This was moist.
I told you they're going to try and make it taste good. That doesn't mean it's meant for you.
And tasty.
Although everyone in our test could tell the difference in this taste test of a different lab-grown chicken, this food critic couldn't.
I was so sure that this is the real chicken.
All this raises the question, why not let us consumers decide? Why are you bribing politicians to ban it?
The government has a legitimate role in ensuring that we have an abundant and affordable and safe food supply. You can't say that about this lab-grown meat.
Lab-grown beef would make the food supply more secure because you'd have another choice.
You should not be able to make that decision when you know that the decision will have the effect of threatening the viability of our food production.
You could have said this about horse-drawn carriages years ago. Ban cars.
The more scared they are, the tastier it is. They should make the cows watch Scream before they slaughter them.
There are sacrifices to be made with progress, but one sacrifice we cannot make is the ability to maintain a viable food production system.
I don't buy his logic. Allowing an extra option would make our food supply more resistant to disruption.
We can make the equivalent of millions of chickens, and we only produce the edible product of the chickens. There's no beaks, there's no feet, there's no feathers.
And no animals are killed.
Chicken meat production is sadly a story of suffering.
Oh, God.
That's one reason a lot of...
Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. It's a story of suffering. Let us tell you about the historic genocide of the chicken. Let me tell you, we hear this every Thanksgiving. This is perfect for this time of year right now. Every Thanksgiving, we hear about the historic genocide of the turkey. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. It's like they're just coming there and here come the animal rights activists with their crazy leftist policies. They're like, oh, my gosh, this is just like slaughtering babies. I remember they had this really disturbing, intentionally disturbing thing where you saw like a cow and a pig and and a chicken sitting around a table, and on the tray was like a carved up baby. And it's just like, and what's sickening about this, what's disturbing about this is if you cannot appreciate the significance of man, then it's very easy to elevate the significance of animal. The only reason someone would actually use any sort of human terms about animals is because it's not because they've actually raised animals up. It's because they brought man down toward being an animal. They look at man as being no greater whatsoever in any capacity than an animal. And I'm going to get on my little soapbox here for a second and try and keep my temper from flaring up on this topic, because my temper starts to rise on this particular one. I don't know why. It's because they're degrading humankind. It is the same philosophy which leads towards feminism. It is the same philosophy which leads towards degradation in sexuality. All of this has one common theme, which is a complete and utter lack of respect for man and for yourself. It's a self-hatred, which basically says, I am not worthy. I'm not an elevated creature. I am a loathsome, terrible individual, as are you. And we'll fixate on all the flaws that man will engage in order to try and bring down man. And they basically pretend that it's a matter of elevating animals. But what this is it's the same thing that is why they cheapen the precious value of dignity. You might not appreciate what the word dignity is. Dignity is, and I've never heard anyone else say this before. This is my own thought creation. Although if I did some research, I probably could find other legends of yore who've expressed something similar. But I sat, and this is the sort of thing I just sat down and I thought about it, and I was, what is dignity? Dignity is that which distinguishes us from animals. Dignity is why you don't dive face first into a cake, because it's undignified. Dignity is why you wear clothing. Dignity is why you engage in bodily function involving why you recognize private parts to your body and the bodily functions that engage in that. You try and find some level of privacy. Because while we all need to engage in bodily functions, we're not cows or dogs who raise our leg and just start urinating wherever the heck we're in the mood to do it. Even if you're a man, then you can piss on a tree from 10 yards away, in which case I say to you, God bless. The reality is, if you're going to be doing that in a forest and there's no one around, cool. If you're trying to impress a friend of yours, I get it. But if you're sitting there in the middle of freaking Times Square, there's something friggin' wrong with you. There's just a time and a place for everything. That's part of what dignity is. Dignity is why it's not cheapening women to say that they need to wear clothing. It is raising them up higher. It is valuing women. It is a respect for women to say that they should dress with a certain sense of modesty, that they are valued, that their body is something that should be treasured and valued and not cheapened. That is the distinction. And this same ideology which says let's cheapen humanity, cheapen women, cheapen human life, treat a human fetus as if it has less value than a cat fetus. Because if you went over and you just started neutering, just started aborting baby cats, people would look at you like you were a freaking monster. But if you do it to baby humans, oh wow, you're a lifesaver. This sickening, disgusting self-hatred manifested as virtue. Self-hatred manifests as virtue of I'm more evolved because I raise up animals to make them and consider that and recognize that they're every bit as valuable as we humans are. This sickening perspective is something that should be exposed for being the product of a very, very sick and warped mind, which has a complete lack of self-esteem and a complete lack of appreciation for the greatness of man, for their own greatness. And when you don't have respect for your own greatness, it's far too easy for you to cheapen the greatness of other humans. And it makes a lot more sense to be able to be psychotic and evil to other people if you look at them as if they're really very little difference between them and a dog or a cow or a mole. It's that devaluation is where you basically look at humans as if they are dirt, scum. And that's what enables you to treat people like scum. It is not an enlightened perspective at all. It is the exact opposite. It is a gross, disturbing, perverse perspective of humanity, which is designed to assuage your own insecurity and lack of feeling of self-worth, while at the same time providing you with a subconscious license to be a complete and total a-hole to all other humans on the basis of like, well, it's just another person. And people don't have any value. It is a reflection of the most warped perspectives, most self-destructive to humanity's perspective imaginable. It's worse than socialism. I mean, there's small reason that it tends to align with socialism, but as much as you'll hear me rail against socialism, this is worse. And it is the undercurrent of so many disgusting, awful, terrible things about leftist ideology. And by the way, don't eat lab meat. Don't eat lab meat.
People eschew eating animal protein and they say, I don't want to eat that anymore because it makes me feel uncomfortable. This can be a really attractive product for people like them because this is a way for them to say, like literally vote with their plate.
Would you buy laboratory grown food?
Yeah, I liked it. We should have the freedom to vote with our dollars, decide for ourselves if lab-grown meat or lab-grown anything is something we want. Maybe we won't like it. Then we won't buy it. But it's wrong when politicians forbid us to try something. I think Americans deserve more choices. It's the reason I started Stossel TV.
Yeah, it is a libertarian perspective, but they fly off the ranch. They fly off the reservation sometimes. Sorry, I had to reboot, send a couple more images. Let's see what you sent me before I get on out of here. Because I do need to get on out of here soon. I've been here for a while. 3.5 hours. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What did you send me? Let's see you. What happened to you? You were right here a second ago. Oh, you're all up here. No, no, it's not creepy enough. This is not creepy enough. No, 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 no. No. Okay. First of all, probably should be like bald, middle age, overweight. Don't give him blue hair. Definitely dressed way too cool. No. This is not, no. We're not on the same page. We're very far. Jack Poser, someone shows me, Kamala's staff urged her not to do the video that we started tonight with, but it was her request very much at random, and she demanded to be allowed to go on camera and none of the courage to say no per White House staffer. Or she had liquid courage. All right. That's pretty funny. Son and Green stem cells. I don't know what's happening. That chicken could have had a life, Joe. It could have had a life. It could have had a life. It could have had happiness and raised little chickens. Could have gotten the other chicken pregnant. Celebrated, 9-month pregnancy. They want to kill farm animals off, so yes, they would be killed. Yeah. Abattoir jobs pay nothing because so many people apply. I don't know what that abattoir is. I don't know what that means. I notice how much more respectfully I'm treated in public by strangers once I start dressing more modestly. Of course. Peace out to your dear leader in chat. Love all you happy warriors. Thank you all for your massive support, Matt. You're awesome. Make mikvahs cool again. Jewish? Really? I didn't know that. You're religious? Regarding self-hatred, look up oikophobia, fear of the familiar. I figure through history, about 20% of Jews hate other Jews and Judaism. Oikophobia? I don't know. Oikophobia? I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that's what it is. I don't think. Yes, there are Jews who are self-hating, but I don't think it's oikophobia. It's self-hatred doesn't have to be because of fear, it's because of resentment and a certain laziness that you're trying to justify psychologically and emotionally within yourself. But anyway, tomorrow is going to be Thanksgiving Eve, and I plan on being here, as should you. Also, definitely going to try and do a locals tomorrow. Goodlogic.locals.com, goodlogic.locals.com. I appreciate all you joining me here. You know not to eat the lab meat. That's meant for they, them. Also, don't eat the bugs. Just don't. I don't care if they say it's juicier than chicken. Don't eat the bugs. Have a good night and Godspeed. I'm still here. He's still here. Why is he still here? He said Godspeed. Why is he still here? What's he still doing here? He's not supposed to be here anymore. He said Godspeed.